Hello, everyone, and welcome to the VoxWork podcast. I am your host, Asmogan, and these are my co-hosts.
I'm Nathan X2000. Thank you again for having me, you beautiful gentlemen.
And I'm Nico 40K. Oh, it's a pleasure.
Yes, welcome to you both, gentlemen, and today is going to be a topic. Actually, you both have brought us a topic today. The major topic and the main topic for today's podcast, however, is from Nathan. Nathan, do you want to start us off?
Okie dokie. So my idea for the, well, not idea, but the topic that I'd like to broach today, which you can probably tell if Asmo does his title and thumbnail magic, is a discussion on the long and very prevalent issue of gatekeeping within 40k, because I feel like we need to have a conversation about gatekeeping and about how some people are going about doing it and giving the actual gatekeepers who have genuine interest in 40k a really bad name. And tips from myself and hopefully both of you, if you've got any very premium suggestions about how people can learn to gatekeep better or how they can just gatekeep in better anyway, rather than learn, if you get me.
Yes, of course. So as you're the one broaching the topic, do you want to start off with the recommendations or like the specifics of like how we're approaching this topic, or would you like us to like chime in immediately?
Well, I feel like this issue needs a little bit, the issue needs a little bit more context.
Okay.
So when I say that we need to discuss gatekeeping as an actual full-blown topic is because while the effort is there, I'm sure you've both seen, 40k fans, at least on our side of the fence, are very zealous. They have the fervor of the emperor despite him not existing. Like that man, like they have a sole dedication to the one dude in a fantasy universe, and they will gatekeep this hobby harder than they've ever done anything else before. Would you both agree?
Oh, absolutely. It's kind of interesting because Twitter has become an active battle zone again. It stopped being one before Elon Musk took it over because they had gone to such great lengths to like really up the censorship of anybody right of Stalin. So like it had pretty much been a lost battlefield at that point. Like if you were right anywhere right of far left, you had no place on Twitter pretty much. But then Elon Musk took it over. And, I'm not going to say he's been only a benefit to the platform, but in terms of free speech and being able to actually have a public discourse again, there actually is one again. Now, there isn't this huge block spree and banning spree that happens for anybody who voices anything that isn't extremely political or extremely, whether we're talking right or left, I should specify. I'm going to say it without any kind of hesitation. It is the left being worse than the right, but I don't anyone watch this thinking I'm under the delusion that the right is better than the left. The right is better than the left right now because the left are in the majority of like control in terms of manipulation and in like media and stuff. But fast forward 10 years from now, I have no doubt the pendulum is going to swing the opposite direction, and we're going to be dealing with like the mom issue, right? Of like moms against insert basic thing here, like moms against video games, moms against comics and shit like that. Like we're gonna be dealing with the Puritans again in a decade or so. So this is not a matter of right versus left for us, I would say. This is a matter of political activism versus escapism. Like that's what we're talking about most of the time here from the perspective we're coming at it. So that being said, yes, there's absolutely a huge political discourse on Twitter at the moment. And that's where a lot of the gatekeeping is starting to be pushed again from our side and the community side against the political activists, primarily and pretty much unilaterally from the left. It's very fun to watch.
Yeah, it is very funny to watch. It's like if watching one of the gatekeepers that I am on about, like someone who's like sort of full of vigor, who just sees everything to do with BattleTech and the current stuff going on with Helldivers and just looks behind him at 40k and he's like, no, you will not take this from me. My last bastion. And they treat EXO like Twitter. They treat it like fucking Doom Guy in Hell. It's just like 1 versus a million demons. They will take those fuckers on.
Yeah, it's been fascinating to watch. Like I've mainly been participating in the discourse around 40k. And to give like a recent example, and I won't drag us on too many tangents, because we do want to try and get to some like advice and actually like specifics in terms of the gatekeeping details. But for an example of like a gatekeeping situation that was happening recently. This one's less political, admittedly, but it's still like a good microcosm of what's going on. So recently there was like a bit of hullabaloo on Twitter because there was a Reddit post about a guy who was talking about a tournament experience he had where he was playing against a World Eaters player. And the guy basically went to Twitter and vented and bitched and whined because the World Eaters player, according to him, was shadowboxing and was, getting like really hyped and shit.
Fuck,
And
I
doing
saw
push-ups.
I saw that.
And doing literal push-ups next to their table while they were playing. And visually, I'm just smiling thinking of the guy. But apparently this person had such a bad experience, right? That they went to the internet and complained and bitched and moaned. And so there was a huge discourse on Twitter about it, and a bunch of fucking pansy-ass bitches were like, oh, you had such a right to complain about this. This is such an issue. So disruptive to the gameplay. The judge should have banned him and removed him from the tournament. He should have been disqualified. Go fuck yourselves. It's a game. Like, the guy was having fun. And some people were like, well, you're not focusing enough on the shadowboxing part. He was clearly threatening his opponent. Oh, please. Please. Okay, first of all, I don't believe for a second that, like, based on the original poster's own description, right? It didn't sound like even the poster thought the guy was threatening him. But let's say, like, what I visualized was the guy was shadowboxing to the side, right? He wasn't, like, throwing empty punches towards his opponent. He was just, like, to the side, kind of boxing an invisible opponent, waiting for his turn. That's it. He was being hype. He was being energetic. I don't believe for a second that he was tossing any empty jabs, literally, at his opponent. But even if he was, none of them landed, and he brought a judge over. This is the part of the story that makes me the most suspicious of how much bullshit is involved and what details are being left out. Because the guy in the original post said he brought a judge over to make a determination about this behavior, and the judge sided with the dude doing the shadowboxing and push-ups. So I genuinely believe that this post is overhyping what this guy was doing. Because I have been to tournaments left and right. Judges, non-Warhammer, like when I say Warhammer, non-GW official ones are even like more strict sometimes in hobby shops. I don't know what venue this was, but judges are not really light on people who are being super disruptive. Like they are not light about it. If they come over and you're being like absurd, like oftentimes I think they're kind of like the Gestapo with how they are about certain things. But the fact that he brought a judge over and the judge was like, yeah, it's fine. He's just having fun. Enjoy. And walked away tells me that the original poster was being hyperbolic. And that this guy maybe did a couple of push-ups to be funny and probably was like a little loud and energetic. But that was it.
Asmogan, this was a Reddit post.
Yeah.
How much salt are you taking this with?
Lots.
Yeah.
The other thing is the fact the guy had like no video footage or pictures. Like, we live in a day and age where everyone has a fucking 2K minimum like camera in their pocket that they could take a quick snapshot of whatever's bothering them on a day-to-day basis, and that's becoming an active instinct of younger people, or even people like our age and slightly older. I saw a 40-year-old fucking pull out his camera to record someone the other day. This is becoming an active reflex.
Like he maybe not have done it, but it's not like you're surrounded by like a crowd of other people where if this dude was actually shadowboxing, surely somebody would have taken a picture and recorded it.
Somebody
everywhere. Because imagine you're at this like 40k tournament, right? It's full of sweaty neckbeards, and all of a sudden some jacked up motherfucking World Eaters player comes in. Like, it's -5 outside, but this dude walks in shorts and a tank top and just starts shadow boxing the side of the wall, just saying the words, for corn. Surely you'd record that, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like,
if not to post everywhere, but for personal pleasure. It's like, I'm taking a video of this guy. This guy seems cool.
Yeah, like it's so strange that there's no evidence whatsoever. Very convenient so that tells me that the guy probably did maybe do it like at the very start and then played it straight the rest of the game.
Yeah, yeah, it's almost like this is a bit of a boogeyman that someone had invented just so they've got like something to whine about or something to like to pretend to be afraid about.
Yeah, like it's just I just don't believe, like, if it did happen, I don't believe it happened to the extent the original poster commented towards. Because again, you'd figure even if the original poster didn't take a photo or a video, somebody would have in a crowded shop or a crowded tournament location. No one just ignores this random dude doing push-ups and shadowboxing. I'm sorry, someone would have taken some kind of picture. So yeah, I just don't believe it.
I love that domino effect of thinking. It's like it starts to get like progressively worse. Like I've seen it done on a bunch of memes, but it's like it didn't happen. It probably didn't happen. If it happened, it didn't happen as bad as you think it did. And if it did happen as bad as you think it did, you probably deserved it.
Wow.
It just gets collectively worse.
Yeah, like, it's been a funny discourse, but yeah, like it was so strange how many people were advocating like that person. And again, if it did happen, the guy just sounds like he's just having fun.
Yeah,
He's being goofy.
Like-
He's being a dork.
yeah, like as long as he's not physically threatening the other person or these like violently shouting obscenities across the table, I don't really see a problem. Like, do you really like in the same way that you'd see a typical Nurgle player rock up like having not showered for 3 weeks? The other person who is a Khorne player who loves melee combat is shadowboxing. I'm sorry, but that doesn't sound like that doesn't sound like an issue of a threat. That just sounds like he's a lot more invested in 40k than you fucking are.
Oh yeah, and the funny part is the original poster was like, oh, and he won by like this great amount, and I'm like,
Skill issue.
That's another thing. Like that leads me to believe as well that this might have been a petty post because he lost by like almost double points. Because it was like 90 versus like 50 something points, victory points, which means that he was getting his ass handed to him by the World Leaders player, which is another piece of evidence that I don't think the World Leader was being that disruptive. Because for him to have played that effectively, he had to have been focusing on the game somewhat. So something tells me that this guy completely blew what this guy did out of proportion because he was salty he lost.
This guy won because he started praising Khorne in the middle of the fucking fight. He was practicing, like he was praying to his god for blood.
You know he ate cornflakes before he showed up to the tournament that day.
Fucking chugged a gallon of milk, ate a few chicken steaks, and just ate a massive bowl of cornflakes.
Oh yeah. But to relate it back to our main topic, I think that this little microcosm is a good example of bad gatekeeping. Because all the people that were whining and crying about this guy's disruptive behavior and stuff like that, without any evidence, mind you, but that aside, assuming the whole thing happened and everyone else assuming it happened the way it was described, the amount of people advocating for this genuinely passionate player who was having fun and really getting into the game, the amount of people who were whining and crying that he should be like banned or removed from the shop and stuff like that kind of gatekeeping, that's a pretty good example of bad gatekeeping. Like that is a pretty damn good example. Like gatekeeping someone out for being a little hyperbolic and a little bit energetic and excited, not a good reason to prevent someone from participating in the hobby.
I was gonna carry on with the actual question because I did initially ask you to, like, you've both seen examples of people being sort of very fervent with their gatekeeping, haven't you? Like on both sides.
Oh yeah.
So we've got our side who are very sort of, when they gatekeep, it's very 40k LARPy. It's like, we will keep the gate. The Emperor will not have you filthy heretics and all like the blah blah blah. But like you rightfully mentioned, Asmo, there are people on the other side who gatekeep, but they are gatekeeping in possibly the worst way. Now, not to be a fence sitter, but that's one of the first points I wanted to bring up is the fact that you see it a lot more on their side, but I wouldn't be surprised if people got too much into it that they immediately like, it's almost like they antagonize the other side because they want something to gatekeep, if you get me. Like, let's say, I don't know, boring day on social media, so they'll just like actively make something up. And then it'll just like cause an argument. Is the fact that so the point is, is that sometimes people will immediately just create a fervor. They'll create this big sort of drama, a very baity post, very clickbaity post, the one that's designed to get arguments, because then the arguments will happen in the person's DMs or they'll be added, so it'll drive up the what's it called, the exposure of any particular person who's like at the center.
Right. That does certainly happen. Just to clarify, are you saying that like our side are doing it, or their side, or are you saying like we're both capable of doing it, or are actively doing it?
That's why I said I didn't want to sound gapey, because I've seen it a lot more on their side, but a lot of people will generate a lot of fervor, and this is the end to the point. They will do it over nothing. Like that whole Reddit post you mentioned, as we discussed, as far as I'm aware, there's no evidence.
Yeah.
But people immediately took it to be true, and then kicked up a massive storm about it on fucking Twitter, when we don't even know if the bastard thing happened. So they're calling for people to be gatekept, and maybe this dude made up this weird fucking boogeyman in his head about this dude who's shadow boxing. Like, ironically, the person who actually fought against him actually came off cooler than he did in the goddamn story. Like, he made him lore accurate to the faction he was fucking playing. But the idea is the fact that this dude, at least in my opinion, had made somebody up, no evidence, purely for the fact that maybe got salty that he lost the game, threw it out onto social media, and without people actually fact-checking whether anything like this happened at a tournament, people immediately started getting into a big fucking argument over it.
Yeah.
If you get me.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. So
like there's also a reluctance to argue as well. They'll find a fault in anything. Like the moment someone might suggest something casual, they'll be like, oh libtard, wokey, stay out my hobby. Some people will do it genuinely, like out of a genuine respect for the hobby, like they should be with proper gatekeeping. But some people will find the smallest fucking thing, and they'll go on the offensive rather than the defensive, which is what gatekeeping kind of is.
Yeah, I'd agree that is happening quite a bit. But like you said, It is happening on one side more than the other. Like the left is
definitely
constantly throwing shit out, intentionally trying to instigate. Like recently with trying to make the Skaven a trans icon. That was out of the blue, and they did that. And for that was less of a gatekeeping situation, because almost even the left were like commenting on that person's post, like, dude, this is not a good look.
I did see that post. Like, I saw you did make a video on it, but I saw fucking what's his name, Wheezy. I saw Wheezy make a yeah. Like I saw him make a video on it as well, and he's saying like don't engage with it because the person that made the tweet, it seems like it was bait.
It probably was in hindsight.
For exposure, which is why I mentioned it, because like some people might drum up exposure.
If it was
just regular views.
If it was, they didn't like the exposure they got, because they blocked and privated their account like really fast. So if it was, then it didn't work out the way they wanted it to. That's for sure. I have no doubt it was definitely out. It was put out there to instigate. Now the question is, was it put out to instigate like a conversation, or were they actually trying to start something, like with the Skaven? Logic in my mind says that they wouldn't, but I've often found that trying to think logically in regards to like the warhammer crowd, well, not just warhammer, but like the woke in general, with anything to do with like the gatekeeping and like political pandering shit. It like oftentimes things in my mind, I'm like, okay, this is just a joke, right? Or this is just like this minor thing, but then they actually like really push it hard, and then I'm surprised that it was an actual genuine like movement they were trying to start. I think that's why a lot of smaller things that should just be ignored, and like our side and their side shouldn't really be engaging over so aggressively. I think our side, to kind of defend the community's side, the actual genuine fan side, I think the reason we're getting more and more like hyper offensive and aggressive is because we're trying to prevent a scenario where we have to entrench ourselves and be on the defensive. So a lot of people are like, okay, like they see like something over the horizon, like with the trans Skaven thing. A lot of people were, in hindsight, it was probably not going to go anywhere, because again, even the left were kind of like, this isn't a good look. Skaven wasn't a good choice. but I think a lot of people jumped on it because they didn't want we didn't want to give them any ground, right? Didn't want to give them even if it seemed like it was a joke, even if it seemed like it was a nothing burger. Nobody wanted to give them that foothold at all. Like it's become this mindset for fans to give no ground, to give no quarter. It's a very offensive mindset we're in right now. And
well, I mean, when you said we, do you mean the royal we? Because to be fair, I don't really claim the people that actively go on the offensive when, like, I thought the point of the hobby was to kind of, like, stop sort of, like, interacting with people in that way, just to pay them no mind.
well, it is the royal we.
But when you actively go on the offensive, you're not defending your own gate, you're destroying theirs.
I'd agree. The reason I say we is because it's from, like, the circle of
the royal we, then.
Yeah, the royal we.
Yeah.
So, like, that's why I say we. I don't think anyone here has actually done that.
No,
I've
I'm
gone on
not
the offensive probably more than I should have, but outside of me, I think the two of you have been pretty defensive.
Well, I'm not on social media at all. You know.
I need to get off it more.
Yeah, yeah, you do, Mr. Jesus Christ.
I need to get off it. I'm not on, like, that's the weird thing. Like, with my social media usage, I'm not on Twitter, like, that often. It's not even on my phone. Like, I only go on it, like, on a weekly basis. And somehow, even just going on a weekly basis, I still end up, like, in the middle or seeing shit that shouldn't be happening. It's really silly and stupid. But, yeah, even with my minimal, like, exposure, like, the fact that it's that common, that constantly, like, the back and forth, yeah, it's no exaggeration to call it a bit of a culture war. Like, I think it's fair to call it that at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gamergate 2.0, though, I didn't think we were gonna do that again, but
Apparently it's here.
Gamergate 2, Electric Boogaloo, even fucking Sargon's making videos again.
yep, it's
Which is a bit of like I'm pretty sure Sargon coming back is like, I think it was like foretold in the Bible as being one of the horsemen of the apocalypse.
I made a joke.
Sargon coming in on his like emaciated horse with like a cup of tea and a crumpet as like his fucking things that he's holding.
I know I'm the only. I think I'm the only. Tongue-tied. I think I'm the only religious one here, but I feel like God is like doing the equivalent of smoke signals, warning everybody that shit's going down. Because there was an solar eclipse today. Like there was a 4.8 earthquake in New Jersey 3 days ago, which we never get earthquakes on the East Coast. And then I had a nor'easter hit my home and my state just a couple of days ago with like massively strong winds and a lot of fucking snow, and it's supposed to be springtime. I feel like God's just like up in the clouds doing a smoke signal going, hey, you know that promise I made with the rainbow? Well, I'm about to rescind. For those who are not biblically inclined, in the Bible, after the whole worldwide tsunami and like drowning, God created the rainbow as a promissory note that he wouldn't do it again. Not even kidding.
Wow.
So like the great flood happened, and then God was like, all right, I got it out of my system. Here's a rainbow. I won't do it again. I swear.
Peace.
Fingers crossed behind back.
You know, God, we are in due for another one. Just saying.
Yeah, it's kind of sad we're getting to the state where we're like, hey, can you rescind the promise, please? But not wanting to bow down with like religiousness, because I don't really push my shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, jokes aside, like we're in a weird like state with things right now. And to your point, Nathan, about our side starting to go on the offensive too much. Like I said,
well, I mean, not start, but I've seen
it. Sorry,
yeah.
Word usage. But yeah, it's happening. I agree, and my problem is I'm mixed feelings about it, because I understand the reasons why, like I understand like in its own way that offensiveness is a form of defense. It's trying to prevent the ground getting like it's trying to prevent them from even starting to take the ground. I do think that they go too far with it though, because a lot of things that wouldn't like even if they pushed it as loud as they did, even their own base wouldn't really have enough energy or interest into like pushing certain things. Like the Skaven trans thing. I don't even think they were really that interested in that. Honestly, like if nobody had interacted with that, it would have gone nowhere. So I think choosing the targets for that aggression has become skewed. It
doesn't like I understand why people do it, but there's a certain level of offense that it starts to take the piss. Because that's why I'd mentioned like there were people that will look for the smallest nothing burger Twitter post that's like 5 likes or whatever, like, hey, I painted a pride flag on my fucking Space Marine, whoop you do. And then you've got like legions of people coming out of nowhere like, you can't do that, you're destroying my hobby, when it's like only like 5 people are seeing it. You know, it's not even probably been seen by GW. They're probably not, even if they did see it, they probably gave it no second thought whatsoever. But to an extent, yes, there is a reason to go on the offensive. Just don't go on the offensive like over the most minor thing. Like if it's an official GW movement or a recognition or an acknowledgement, then do it. Because then that's the actual company taking notice and like, we support this LGBTQI play plus fucking SCP premium. Like, I really wanted to use the phrase that flag thing for the Space Marine. That's when we should all be collectively like, pack it in GW, otherwise we're gonna leave. Yeah. But not like find again some nothing burger Twitter user that's like, I just painted by Space Marines a certain rainbow color in a certain fucking pattern, and have like 20,000 people just immediately descend on this person's Twitter post and tell them to kill themselves.
I haven't seen too much of the kill myself thing.
I've not seen them, but that's why I wanted to clear up the fact of the religious fervor that some people from our side might have. And I don't mean religions like real life religion fervor. I mean like fervor to a religious level.
Yeah,
right.
It's actually interesting you mention that, and I'm gonna finally bring up a point so that I'm not just empty space. So, in the hobby shop that I usually venture into, nobody talks anything politics, right? And especially on the 40k side of things. The only thing people ever talk about is my faction is better, mine is better, stuff like that. Generally, if there's any like discussion like, oh, you're a lefty or you're a righty or whatever, it's everyone just kind of, I've seen it like once, people just kind of just go silent. It's just, yeah, okay. It's like, because it's like, it's like, this is like the one space we have to just have fun.
It's escapism.
Yeah, it's escapism. And the thing is, right, generally speaking, I wouldn't even want to be talking about this in general, because like I have barely any political opinions outside of like, stuff that I already agree with. And I don't really care much about another one. Like if I'm painting with someone, like a beautiful model, or if I'm genuinely listening to, someone telling me about their lore, it's like, is the first thing I ask is like, oh, so are you on my side or are you on the enemy? It never comes up for me. So I do think like, if nothing is mentioned, right? Just the principle. If nothing is mentioned, if nothing is like directed as insult, it's like, do everyone a favor and don't start it.
To that point, I would say that is something that needs to be noted. When it comes to the whole conflict, as it were, it virtually doesn't exist IRL. Like,
yes.
Like, you go to a hobby shop or a tourney or anything, you almost never see it. Like the closest you'll see is I say occasionally, quite often these days, you'll see someone come in who's clearly trans or with dyed hair, or they give off all the red flags, but they don't say anything. They don't bring anything up. They just come in, they play, they have fun, they shake your hand. No drama started. So despite the fact that you have, like in my case, I've seen several, I have no doubt what their beliefs are, but it doesn't matter, right? Because as long as they don't bring it up, I have no reason to, be hostile or aggressive, and I'm not going to be. Like, I'm going to have fun. I'm going to treat them like I would anybody else, and I'll converse back and forth, and nobody brings it up. Like, everybody has fun. I walk away, and I learn their names, and I'm like, okay, cool. It'll be fun to play you next time. Yeah, likewise. Again, I know that they probably don't agree with me, but it doesn't matter, because we're there for escapism. And that's how it should be. Like, that's how it should be in all fronts. But unfortunately, when we get to the online space where people aren't afraid to, start shit because of the not only the safety net of the anonymity of the internet, but even if they know who you are, there's the physical net. Like, no one's going to start like a physical scuffle with you if you say the most horrendous shit to them online. So that's why, online people are more likely to use like racial slurs, or are more likely to, demean someone with the most hateful language, quote unquote, that they possibly can. Now, I'm the kind of person that if, they did that to me IRL, I wouldn't be phased, because I have a spine. And I've been in fisticuff fights IRL. I know what it's like to get into a fight, directly. I know, the extent that I'm willing to go or willing to put up with up to that point. I've lived with and dealt out real-world consequences for that kind of behavior. And I honestly, all this shit flinging you see online, I know for a fact will never happen IRL, unless they're certain they're talking to someone else that's, in their same exact mindset. So, that is something that needs to be said as we talk about gatekeeping, as we talk about all this drama, and as we talk about the culture war. It doesn't exist. Well, virtually doesn't exist IRL. Only the most crazy, super nutja activists will voice it IRL. And I'm not saying that doesn't happen. That's why I said it virtually doesn't happen. But in most spaces, most of the time, IRL, you're going to have, a normal hobby experience.
Yeah. Because I've got a friend, I say he's an acquaintance. IRL, I work with him. And he recently just came to my place of work, and we sort of bonded over the fact that we both like Warhammer. He came in, he was like, "Oh, have you ever heard of Warhammer 40k?" My face fucking lit up like a Christmas light. I was like, "Yeah, I've heard of it."
Full mast.
Yeah. Like a fucking pirate ship sail.
There are only 3 things that get me this excited: Tehe, Finster, and Warhammer 40k.
Yeah, buddy. Fuck, she's gonna kill me when she sees this episode again.
Oh, damn it!
Wait, did you actually get in trouble for that?
I didn't get in trouble, but she does the cutesy sort of pouty faces, no, you're I'm not sharing with anyone, you're mine. No, you're not allowed.
Don't worry, Tehe. He's got no chance with Finster.
I take that as an insult, good. So I'm moderate looking.
You look like a deflated. What's it? Tom Hardy? Not Tom Hardy. Tom Holland.
Deflated Tom Holland. Okay, fucking Ragnar the diabetic. Fucking lay off.
No, that's fair. That's fair. I can acknowledge Ragnar the diabetic. That's fair. You look like a deflated Tom Holland.
I am not a deflated Tom Holland. I am cute and I'm youthful.
Yeah, when I say deflated, you do not have the same muscle tone. I've seen you shirtless more often than I care to admit, but I've seen
I'm
you
less
shirtless.
I'm less lean, if that's what you mean. Not deflated. Deflated makes it seem like I'm fucking Squidward from the SpongeBob episode when he pulls off his nose when he's ill and he just fucking flabs into the bath.
Okay, if you want to be anal about it, you're a smaller Tom Holland. How about that?
I'm not smaller. I'm less lean. Smallest height.
Not universally. It just means you're lesser in size than he is. That could
We-
expand
we-
outward.
we-
That could expand height.
We had this discussion last time with definitions.
Yeah, and it was autistic as fuck.
I know. That's why I loved it. But anyway. So this person at my workplace who I had spoke about 40k with, he's like center left. And he mentioned that he wanted to see female space marines purely from the shit show it would cause. Like, as much as I don't tell him about my certain beliefs, he's chill. Me and him are chill. We always have good conversations, always good banter. You know, we never get too political, just a few jabs here and there. And that's it. That's the extent that it goes. Like, I like this dude. He's fine, he's chill, but Asmo, you hit the nail right on the head before. The moment you start taking it online and you've got anonymity, and the moment you can go online and you can bring up all these stories about shit that's happened or shit that you've seen that basically have never happened in real life, but no one can fact check it because it's the internet, you can immediately sort of create this artificial warring front and give off the idea that 40k is as divisive as it is when it barely is in real life.
Man, that goes...
Yeah, sure, you may get one dickhead, like, it's not like they don't exist.
Oh, yeah.
You'll find one. There's always one.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, there's not legions on both sides running at each other like fucking Lord of the Rings. Like Mordor versus Rohan.
Yeah, not in real life. This is where the whole like complication of the conversation happens. Is like if a conflict on like social conflict is happening online, does that conflict therefore not exist? I would say it still does to an extent. Like there is a culture war happening. However, is it so bad that there are actively like in every hobby shop or in every like game store or everything, like there's these constant confrontations? I'd say we haven't hit it that level yet, thankfully. It is like the duality of the internet. Thankfully the internet gives people a place to have those confrontations in a quote-unquote safe manner for both sides. As much as it's frustrating as shit, as much as it's infuriating sometimes, like when you want to strangle the person. But that safety net is for both sides, right? Like, the hobbyist side, it's safe for people to go out there and say everything as bluntly as they want to be, and they won't be assaulted by a bunch of psychoactivists IRL. And the psychoactivists, they can go online and say all the shit that they want to say without being attacked by crazed fans that are a little too zealous. It's beneficial and reductive for both sides. So I think part of the reason we're not seeing it in hobby stores and not escalate as much IRL is because people are getting it out online. My worry is it like right now, again, there's a huge pendulum swing with like the cultural zeitgeist right now, with a lot of people getting sick and tired of woke bullshit being pressed down us in video games and in movies and in our media. And a lot of people are sick and tired of politics dictating like that kind of artwork, right? People don't want to constantly be preached at. Like, we watch movies because we want to forget about the real world. We read comics because we want to forget about real world shit. We play tabletop games and play war games because we don't want to think about the real stuff. Like, all of this is for treating depression and treating anxiety and treating those daily like malices in people's heads and those maledictions that are affecting people. Like, a lot of people's mental health is on a huge fucking downturn over the last decades, especially with a lot of things just IRL being as bad as they are. So the whole point we have these things is so we can not all lose our minds and check out, as it were. So that's where a lot of like the zealotousness comes from. But the point is, this conflict, as it stands, may still potentially bleed into the real world. And that's kind of part of my concern, is if the gatekeeping isn't done well enough on the online space, is people like that, the psychos that call women birthers and breeders, who don't agree with them on the left will start saying and doing that shit in the middle of hobby shops because they've grown so confident, unopposed online that they start actually genuinely believing people feel and think that way IRL too. And I don't want to see it in my hobby shop. So I'd rather the fight be online and be pushed and held online than get to the point where it hits hobby shops. So another layer of the gatekeeping conversation that needs to be had is, like, how much gatekeeping do we have to do to keep it online? Because we're not just gatekeeping the hobby, we're also gatekeeping the real experience versus the hollow artificial online experience. Like, there's two layers of gatekeeping happening.
There is another side to that double-edged sword, Asmo, that you mentioned, though. Obviously, we don't want to see it happen in hobby stores, but if people get confident and they start saying it in the hobby stores,
Well, yeah, like I just
then,
said,
then that's a very physical thing that they've just done. And if they've just done that physically out in the open, then that's a lot more of an excuse of, like, that's not anonymity. That's like,
well, that's what I'm saying.
Or either you're either gonna leave or I'm gonna pick you up by your fucking teeth and I'm gonna force you to leave for saying that.
Yeah, well, that's exactly what I was saying. Maybe I'm sorry, I may not have made myself that clear. The reason I think we should be gatekeeping online as much as we are is so those groups don't get that confident in hobby stores.
Exactly.
Oh,
So
no, I understand what you said, but I mean, like, if they do get that confidence, that's the other edge of the double-edged sword. Is like they out themselves as, like, they actually out, so they can actually be sort of exempt from these hobby stores. And if you're gonna go around calling people insults, at least they don't have the internet to hide behind. So they then just outed themselves as a fucking psychopath, going around insulting people for the most minor of things in a niche sci-fi hobby. And all of a sudden, they are now picking themselves up by the fucking shin bones outside because they've just said something that no one agrees with, and they've been very offensive in doing so.
That I guess that is a fair point. Like, the gatekeeping we do online is less effective than if we could do it IRL.
Yeah, it's almost merciful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is a fair point to be made.
I am, however, just completely horrified by the idea of, like, bringing that into our actually hobby stores, because the thing, for me, for example, right, I meet a lot of different people through that one particular hobby store that I go to, the other nerd store, and again, like, I know the people there, they are, they disagree with me. They're, like, left of center, and I don't mind that, because they never bring it up. They themselves never bring it up, even though once you think are gonna bring it up, they don't bring it up. It's like, just absolute, it is just the hobby, and I absolutely respect that. So to have that energy in mine or in any other, I dare not to. I don't dare to dream what that would be like. Because
it's not ideal, but it's like I don't know, watching a massive car crash and one of the trucks that would have involved in a car crash just tipped over and a bunch of freshly made and gourmet fucking hamburgers just poured out the back. It's not an idea. It's not the best situation, but you make the best of what you have.
Mm-hmm.
Someone wants to start running their mouth in a hobby store, all of a sudden, haha, you're just asking for it, aren't you, mister? As much as we don't want that, again, that's sort of the best of the bad situation. Like, well, you've just outed yourself as a knobhead, so fuck around and find out.
Yeah, and then there comes to the problem of what if there's an equal number IRL of the psycho, like, political people and, like, the zealotous fans, and they, like, it'd be like a gang war.
That would be fucking cool.
It'd be awesome. That should be a movie. Well, I guess that kind of is the plot of Warriors a little bit.
It is.
Although that's like
Right,
street gangs, but
like it is, and imagine like 40k lore accurate fucking gangs. You've got people walking around with fucking corn symbols on the back of the wrist.
Oh my god!
Like, because unfortunately the faction with the most sort of, at least in terms of Sig Marxism, is involved. The faction with the most sort of commandeered leftists are the orcs. which I can imagine that displeases you, Asmo. So it'll just be gangs of people with orc tattoos on the back of their hands, but it's all the based fucking chaos chads are walking around with corn symbols on the chest.
I don't
Like
even
fucking
I don't even know if I agree with that notion that like the orcs have been like co-opted by the political activists. They've tried actively to say that they're like a racist thing.
if you go onto Sig Marxism, it will not take you long to find an orc post.
I don't go on there for so many reasons.
Because remember, like one of their big political symbols is the red gobbo.
I did not know that.
Red gobbo because of communism.
You ruined my day. I just want to let you know that.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but know your enemy. Know that enemy. But
of course, they had to co-opt the most unifying faction.
yeah.
Goofy dipshits of the universe.
Yeah, and sorry, just to stress, just in case people aren't getting the idea, well, at least in terms of me, I don't want to speak on behalf of both of you, but when I say left, so no, when I say woke, I don't like to overuse that term because I think the more you use the term, the more you dull it down.
Mm-hmm.
When I say woke, I mean hyper progressive.
Yes.
Center left's fine, like I mentioned before with my friend and the people that Nico goes to his hobby store with. Center left, fine. They're not argumentative. They just have a different perspective. But if you're pushing for like pride flags and like tokenism within 40k just for the sake of diversity and representation, you're the type of fuckface I'm on about when I say the word woke. That's the shit we should be gatekeeping.
I'd say that's pretty much all of our definitions. Like, when I think woke, I think of political activists. I don't think someone who's left-leaning. I think of someone who's... I think of, like, the psychos who are like, hey, do you want to go to Pride Parade? No, I just want to stay home and play video games. Well, you're a transphobe and a homophobe. I'm talking about those types.
Yeah.
That's
I just didn't.
Psychos.
I just didn't want to speak on behalf of both of you because I can imagine if enough people, if certain people watch this podcast, they then might sort of go off on sort of
thing is,
as
woke,
a collective of us three.
Woke at this point has been like an accepted definite, like in terms of its usage. It's now there are people who overuse it, but like the main usage of it is when referencing activists, when referencing the people who go out of their way to try and invade hobbies and invade spaces that are about escapism and actively convert them into a soapbox for preaching their political views. Like it's about those it's about the people who are like borderline or actively like communist almost and socialist.
Yeah,
those crazies that are actively trying to like brainwash people. That's what people mean when they say woke. There are a few people out there, like I've been called woke. Like, ironically, in terms of recency, I was called woke on a video where I was shitting on woke stuff, which is hilarious. But there are so from my own experience, yes, there is people who are overusing the term, absolutely, and hopefully
I have seen a large amount of people overuse the term.
Yeah.
On our side, and frankly I'm getting really fucking tired of it. Like they will see the smallest thing, the smallest hint of leftism, they'll be like, it's woke, it's like it's regressive, it's like, you know, it's just pure leftism vitriol against the right. Like it's very Americanized.
Hey.
As in, like hey, hang on.
We did not invent tribalism. Thank you very much.
No, you didn't invent tribalism, but the American political system has caused a bit of a shift around the world in terms of two major political parties. You're either this side or this side.
I don't think we started that either. Like you
guys
have parties. You have the Tories and shit.
Right, hang on. No, I didn't say you started it, but when I say Americanized, I mean it's been popular in America to be divided between two parties because we used to have, at least in the UK, Green Party, Lib Dems, Tories, and Labour. Good fucking luck hearing about the Green Party or the Lib Dems anymore. You're either Labour or Tory. Sorry, Labour, Tory, UKIP, Green Party, Lib Dems. I know Reform UK is basically just UKIP 2.0. But yeah, we have a shit ton of parties. Well, we had a shit ton of parties, but for some reason it's now either you're either Labour or Tory.
I guess I can agree that America did popularize the binary system.
Yeah, like America didn't exist until like what was it, like 1776?
1776.
Yeah, 1776. Like, so like there's been political shit way before America, but America, sadly, against the wishes of Mr. Washington himself, did create like popularized the idea of a more two-party system.
The thing is, like, our second president ever actively like warned everybody before leaving office, do not let this country formulate political parties.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, don't let that get instigated, and no one fucking listened to him. Not a goddamn person. Like, immediately after he left office, they started formulating political parties.
Which like, unfortunately, as a result, is what a lot of people out there, like a lot of fervent sort of vocal extremists, in terms of like, you know, spewing vitriol at whatever side that they're against. It's either a you're with us or against us mentality. When if you were to speak to somebody in real life, you wouldn't immediately get that, like, unless they're holding a big fucking Antifa flag, or, you know, like they're decked out in an SS fucking Hugo Boss uniform that they've just purchased a replica off the internet. Unless they're that diehard symbolism they want everyone to know, I doubt you'll come across anyone that's that vocal. Because people that tend to be that vocal, unless they're only in their own echo chambers, they are not liked people. Because they're that divisive.
Yeah. Alright, so we've talked about like the issues with like the gatekeeping so far.
Well, that's one issue.
God, have we only talked about one issue so far?
Yeah, well, I mean, to be fair, we've talked about two. Like, in terms of, like, you know, how far should we keep gatekeeping online? Like, or how effective, you know, it needs to be. But there's also the issue of, like, people on both sides. But from what I've seen, especially the left side of the fence on the extreme, is people create big stories, controversies. They'll attack the smallest thing if they can get away with it.
Yeah.
But another issue is the process of the gatekeeping itself. Now, Asmo, I'm going to mention I'm going to type it, and because we spoke about this before, because we both saw this issue happen when the person did report it. And you'll know exactly what I'm going to be leading to with this.
Oh, yeah.
So, when it comes to the actual act of gatekeeping, some people basically, when somebody wants to come in and they're like, hey, I want to learn about Space Marines, I want to learn about the Tau, you know, I want to paint my Space Marines, at least in my opinion, the correct thing to do would be to guide them initially, but maybe try and get a feel for why they're in the hobby. Like, if they start saying, hey, I'm new into 40k, I immediately want to paint a bunch of Pride Marines, no, bin them off. Because even though you can paint your own miniatures in whatever color scheme you want, you know, the old miniatures, you paid for the fucking things.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going around actively telling people that you're going to do that, that's a bad sign. But what's equally a bad sign, and what gives us people like us a bad reputation, is that, let's say somebody wants to learn 40k, like, hey, I saw the Kroot in a side of a Games Workshop display, and I think they look pretty neat. Or I saw the Death Guard. Like, where should I start with 40k? Are there any games or any TV series? You know, is there anything I can... The fucking worst thing you can do, and I've seen this happen, is you, as the gatekeeper, immediately ask them 10,000 fucking questions, like, how long have you been in the hobby? What's favorite faction? Like, what fucking dildo did Fulgrim use on this fucking planet when he was killing the World Eaters and he was fucking fisting Angron in his ass? If you don't know this particular law reason, you're a wokey fucking Taurus. Get out. That shit. Do not immediately pounce on anyone who enters the hobby because they don't know, like, the smallest bit of niche lore. Because you've even got some diehard, but like Asmo, Mr. fucking the lawman of the podcast, you don't know everything about the law.
No, I don't. And if anyone ever claims that they do, know
Yeah,
that
no
that
one
person
else
is
will.
lying.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Know
You-
that that
you
person
need-
is lying. There's no
you-
way
you-
you like. I don't care how autistic you are. There's no way you know everything.
yeah, you need a bachelor's degree in 40k law.
It's like the Tolkien scholars, but for
Yeah,
40K.
exactly.
No way.
no
in hell.
one, no one knows the 40k law that much. Like, I mean, it's fine to ask them some basic questions like, oh, what's your particular faction of interest, and what about the faction you like? But if they don't immediately tell you what color the tech priest's eyes were on a particular Mechanicus book that was released like 10 fucking years ago, if they don't answer it, you can't be like, get out of here, wokey tourist, you're just a fan, you're just a fake fan, you're not in it for the actual hobby. Don't be that cunt. Don't be that cunt, because you are potentially turning away potential fans of 40k purely for the sake of, to be quite frank, it seems like the same practice that wokies use when they want to score
looking
points.
for,
Like they want a brownie
for the enemy. Like you're
Yeah.
actively trying to come up with the enemy, and it's a level of paranoia. And
You want to score good boy points with the community. Like, look at me, I'm I'm doing my part. I'm doing the gatekeeping. When the only thing you've just done is act like a twat.
Yeah. And given the situation we're referencing, I won't mention any specifics.
Well, I'm on about in general, but I typed that in chat to basically put you on the same lines as me.
Yeah,
because that's what we've both seen.
Yeah, but like jumping off of that particular situation, it should also be mentioned that I think a lot of the people who do that, on both sides, mind you, this isn't just our side, but I think the people that are like the most hot-blooded for like the paranoia and the aggression and like getting into that mindset are younger.
Oh yeah.
Typically are younger. Like, not that I want to say I'm not. Keep in mind where it's coming from, right? I'm almost 25. I'm 24 currently. I'm not by any stretch old. I've got quite a bit of life experience, but I'm not like physically old. So I get the adrenaline rush of like getting into like those back and forths and like the desire to keep fighting and keep shit posting and pissing people off actively. Like there's this hot bloodedness with younger people, especially younger men. And I'm not going to call it toxic because I don't think it's toxic all the time. In fact, it could be quite positive depending on the scenario. Because if that just to give context, for that hot bloodedness in like a physical sport, that could be like a lot of fun. Like if you're playing like rugby or hockey or football, like American football, with like a bunch of hot blooded, buds, and you guys.
Oh, you mean in general? You mean in general, not just because I would argue that if you were to do the said thing that I was mentioned before within 40k, it would be toxic. But if you mean like general, sort of, like hot-blooded, very highly competitive energy.
Yeah, like generally speaking,
generally
speaking, younger men, hot-blooded, really like got that natural aggression, and with age and practice, controlling it as you get older, you ease off and you know how to like gauge yourself. So, but in these like scenarios we see happening with like gatekeeping and trying to. The thing is, we call it a culture war and everything, and I think it's fair to call it that again, but I think it puts people in the mindset of an actual conflict, and people take it as seriously as an actual conflict.
Mm-hmm.
To an extent, they should. Again, to an extent. But I think like it bleeds a little too much, again, into like the situation with the individual both you and I are familiar with, Nathan. I think that was a pretty good example of that youthful, passionate, like hot-bloodedness translating into a wicked overreaction.
Yeah.
And I think that that's something that we need to encourage to rein in, especially as we get older. Because I do think the culture war and like the actual conflict, as it were, between the politics versus escapism, I don't think it's going to die anytime soon. As much as I wish it would, and I certainly feel like in like 20 years, hopefully 10, it'll die out a little bit, it'll cool off, but it'll come back eventually. So as we get older, I think it's kind of it's the job of the older members of this fight, so to speak, to try and rein in the young bucks. And
Yep.
So, sorry, Asma. When you mentioned that, I just remembered the actual reaction that this person had when basically he then bragged to us that he'd like gatekept this person. I think it was pretty toxic even after the fact, because he then started having a go at everyone else that was having a go at him for doing it. He was calling all of them wrong. So I think like even the after reaction, it was just very fucking toxic. Like he was just burning all them bridges. Like, oh, you're just not gatekeeping as hard as me. Shit like that. When we all told him like to fucking pack it in, 'cause he went overboard.
Yeah, and again, that's part of like the.
When like Uwu did
like
go too far, pointing both his index fingers together, like Uwu, I'm sorry. But the moment he's like, oh, you're not gatekeeping as hard as me. Like I'm doing just fine. You're all hypocrites because you do it. That shit.
Yeah, it's that young, like hot-bloodedness. Like he was in that tunnel vision of a combination of adrenaline and anger. And I think that's why, like, when he calmed down, right, like, he started listening to us. But that's the problem.
Did he?
Is, well, he talked to me after he calmed down. He didn't apologize, but...
to you, yeah. He didn't fucking talk to me. I was part of the crowd that was basically shouting at him, told him to fucking pack it in because he was just a dick to someone.
Yeah, and I criticized him for it, too. I think he just needed a little bit to calm down. And when he calmed down, I think he was more... I won't say he was fully receptive, because... part of the hot-bloodedness is even when you cool off, you don't want to admit you were wrong. And that's not even a youthful thing. I think that's just like people in general. But
I don't know. He's pretty autistic, so he's not very receptive to criticism, fucking in general.
Yeah,
at least the individual I'm on about. I'm not saying that about all autistic people.
Yeah, and I'm trying to avoid just focusing on the individual situation. I do want to try and like keep it. That way it applies to more situations. But, yeah, like I was saying, I think it's the job of the older, wiser, air quotes, members of the community to kind of rein in the hot-blooded younger members of the community as we try and police our space. Because if we end up just as, like, blood ragey fueled as the opposing side already is... because that's what keeps them constantly bringing up female Space Marines. That's what constantly keeps them bringing up, trans Skaven and shit. That's what constantly keep it for them. It's just as hot-bloodedness. So we need to rein in the members of our community that are more susceptible to that lack of restraint and lack of sensible. Weighing the situation is like, okay, is this worth reacting to in this way? Probably not. Save the energy and the enthusiasm for someone who's actually got some kind of influence that's trying to, like, push this shit. Like, gauging it. I think that, again, more experienced, wiser, older members of our community need to rein in the young bucks. Because if we let them go as wild as the opposition... the political activists, and again, this will apply when it's right-leaning activists just as it is applying now to left-leaning, you need to not become what you're trying to oppose. And, recently, another member of our community kind of started showcasing traits of the opposing side, just in the reverse.
So, really?
Yes. So I was in a conversation call with this individual, and they started describing, like, they were talking about, like, the political wokeness in, like, films and stuff. And they mentioned how in a lot of films and stuff, it's a lot of... And they started doing that thing that the left do, where they're like, you're just a cis white male. You know how they break you down into those specifics because they want to, like...
Buzzwords.
Yeah, this individual was doing the same, but for the other side. And they were, like, white, suburban, liberal women. And to me, it sounded the exact same. It's like, yeah, like, it's the same tone, same inflection, same hey, I'm breaking you down to these specifics because I view these specifics as all these buzzword, massively negative inherent traits. So for me, I'm like, I called him out on it on the spot and said, dude, you were sounding just like they do when they say cis white male. Like, you're taking these groups that are full of a lot of different people, and you're turning them into inherent, like, negative buzzwords to break down your opposition and to, kind of solidify your negative view of them. Like, it's not healthy. It's not healthy. Don't get me wrong. It's fair to say that amongst those groups, there's certainly some archetypical individuals. But when you start viewing all of those things and you start using them as buzzwords like that, I think that's a telltale sign that you're becoming the very thing that you're opposing.
Yeah, and that's like the last thing anyone should become, just in general.
Like we're not trying to outdo the opposition in everything that they do. Don't get me wrong, it's fun to fight fire with fire sometimes, as long as you don't lose control of the fire, so to speak. Mm-hmm. Like, fight them with a control blaze. And be ready to put it out when you know you're going too far. When you start to sound just like them, though, you've gone too far and you need to rein it in.
Exactly.
You are the chosen one. It said you would destroy the progressives, not join them. I hate you.
Exactly. The only difference there is like they still see their enemy as the progressives. They just don't realize that they've adopted all the very reasons we push back against them. But now you're parroting it just from the reverse perspective. You're no better. And again, it's fine to fight fire with fire. It's fine to go as low as they go sometimes, and oftentimes it's necessary, in my opinion. But you need to know when to pull back. You need to know when you're riding that line between, okay, I'm just using their methods temporarily against them to see how they like it. Then there's starting to believe that those methods are actually the right call in all scenarios. And then they start to, like, when you actually start parroting them genuinely, as opposed to being cheeky and just using their methods against them to piss them off or to showcase to them why we hate them. But when you actually start using them genuinely from a place of, like, you actually are believing everything you're saying from that perspective, again, you might as well have become them. And instead of solving an issue, you've now started duplicating the issue from the opposite side. So that's another thing about gatekeeping we got to keep in mind is not only to rein in the young bucks from going too far in terms of their methods, but also replicating the methods used by the other side too much and too genuinely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't do it unironically. Do it ironically if you want to piss them off and, you kind of want to parody them. But just don't genuinely look at their tactics, criticize them, and then have the goal to then use the same tactics on them.
Yeah.
And then, but because I remember having a conversation with somebody as well. I'll type it, where I basically said the same thing to them, saying, "Well, you're doing the exact same thing that the people you don't like are doing. So what makes you so different?" And they literally replied with the fucking big E reasoning from TTS. They literally said, "Because I know I'm right."
Oh,
oh boy.
Just trying to wrap my head around that.
It's almost like the other side says the exact same things to their friends.
Yeah, oh no, Parisha thought that hypocritical thinking is not a political thing, but an individual thing.
Mm-hmm.
The horror.
Hypocrisy is not limited to specific political ideologies, groups, or ethnicities. It is a entirely human experience.
Yep.
And I don't think there'll ever be like a 10 commandments of like gatekeeping, because people are going to agree and disagree on the methods used, to the extent that it's used. But if we can form some sort of uniform idea that we can at least adhere and base our things around, I think we'll definitely go a lot in the direction of we're just keeping the gate, we're gatekeeping, which is defending the gate. If you start going out and destroying the other person's gate, you're basically just giving them a reason to come and destroy yours, because it's fine for you to do it. Why would it not be fine for them?
Exactly.
Yeah,
As much as that logic works most of the time, sometimes it doesn't, but in this instance it does.
it's about gauging where to pick your fights, and also to gauge like your own response when you do engage in a fight. Like when you engage in a fight, like I said before, it's okay to use their methods against them. I would reserve doing that until you're in a conversation with someone who clearly has zero interest in like hearing you out. Like there is no common ground to be found. There is no genuine conversation to be had. This is just a matter of this person is brainwashed entirely into this perspective. They have zero interest in your perspective or giving you any ground. Like, for example, Radhom versus Arch. During their debate, Radhom had no intention of changing his mind on anything and was determined to not agree with Arch on anything, despite the fact that he was in support of gatekeeping, but he was utterly, staunchly determined not to agree with him on any level, because he felt that if he agreed with Arch on anything, even minorly, not only would his own base eat him apart, but he thought it would also be some kind of surrender. Like, that's how these people think.
Jesus.
Like he feels like he would have surrendered something and would have lost on some level to Arch if he agreed with him. So when they both agreed that the community needed to be policed, but he utterly refused to accept that he was okay with gatekeeping on that basis, even though Arch explicitly said, okay, but by my definition of gatekeeping, it's the same thing as your definition of policing or your definition of moderating. They were talking about the exact same thing, but he utterly refused to accept that that was the definition of gatekeeping. And he kept reinforcing that he thought gatekeeping was evil, but moderating was okay. What was the difference in terms of their definitions? Nothing. They both thought the same thing in terms of the community needed to be policed from bad people. They disagreed on who the bad people were, but they both agreed fundamentally that the community needed to be policed. The difference was the words. He refused to use gatekeeping because that's the word that Arch co-opted, despite the fact that definitionally they were using the exact same definitions for policing the community. Like that's like the level of pettiness and the level of like staunch determination they have not to have a common ground or mutual experience. And that shows why there's no negotiating. That's why it's a conflict as it is.
I
can't. No, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I can't really imagine having a conversation like that, like for real. Sure, but usually it's like if I'm having any kind of conversations on any stuff like this, usually I'll have a couple of people, bringing up arguments and all this stuff, like where we agree, where we disagree, and maybe if there's a compromise. I cannot imagine constantly being on the defensive of it's like, I agree with you, but I don't agree with you. No, I'm not allowed to agree with you. I cannot for the life of me. Like I cannot have a common ground with the enemy.
I can imagine like having this conversation online because I've seen it happen millions of times, but in real life, I can't imagine it happening.
I've had it
that would
twice
just be a bad
in real
time
life.
Overall.
What?
Twice?
Jeez.
Oh, fucking hell. Two more than me.
Twice
Same.
in real life. Neither circumstance in real life was about 40k, but it was about other things.
Well, I mean, if it's not about 40k, then. But I can imagine it was very unpleasant to get political like that.
Yeah, one was on like school stuff and like education, and the other was on.
That's not too bad.
Well, it's regards to like trans stuff.
You know what? That's still not too bad. They've not got a leg to stand on. I'll down this hill.
Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, there's no leg to stand on, but they would not listen to a single fucking word I had to say. Not a word. Like, didn't matter how much like I was like 2 + 2 = 4, and they were like, well, it equals 5 because you said it equals 4, so I can't agree with you. Like that. Like I've had those conversations in real life, and I've had one like notable one online, and like I think I handled it how people should handle it when you're dealing with someone that staunchly unwilling to like listen to you. If you go like for people watching, like if you go back on my channel, in terms of like the live streams, and this is a while back, so you'd have to go down like a while. But I had someone who like actively went and harassed me on Instagram, and like was like hitting me up and talking about how I was like this like ultra alt-right like Nazi evil person, right? Total nut job. And the instigation for that was I talked about how Temple and Institute was pushing the whole no canon in 40k crap, and was doing it for the sake of female space marines. I had some fucking nut job hitting me up, and so I decided, instead of just doing what I normally do, which is shit on them in DMs, joke around with them, and then leave, I decided I'll make content out of this because I fucking hate this person and I hate when people do this. So I invited him on the show, and he actually came on to my open mic podcast, or my open mic, sorry, it's not really a podcast. It's a series of live streams I do where I have a topic, I talk about it, and then I invite people on to voice their thoughts.
You've not done for a while actually.
No, I haven't had time. But point is, I brought the guy on, and the guy was a lunatic. The stream itself might look really long, but don't worry. I only had him on for like 30 minutes, and I barely could handle him for that long. Like, the guy was a psycho. So for me, if you want a good like visual and auditory example of how to deal with that level of disingenuous lunatic, watch my video on it, and I'll give you like a brief like explanation here. Make fun of them. You don't, and I don't mean like just call them a bunch of buzzwords you think would piss them off enough, although that's funny too. But if you actually want to like toy them around for a little while, like get them engaged seriously, and then throw like joke stuff at them, because again, there's no point in debating them, right? No hearts and minds are getting changed on either side. They're not there to actually listen to you or be genuine, so why be genuine with them? So dick around with them, like meme it up. Do the same thing that fucking that Count Dankula does on Twitter all the time, where he like changes his account to be like Justice Day. So, like, do that with them directly, right? Like, start fucking with them, because honestly, it's a lot of fun. It makes it if it's online in particular, it makes other people reading it. If it's like a text-based social media, or if it's a video one like the one I had with this psycho, it makes for great fucking content. It's so entertaining, because it's like this one psycho who thinks they're having like a genuine debate, and the other one who's just fucking with them. Like, for example, this guy was going on a rant, and then I interrupted him in the middle of his rant to say, "Are you a cat person?" And he lost it. Like, he lost his shit at that because I threw him off. So I think it's fine to like use them for your own entertainment at that point. I think that's the correct way to treat people like that.
Trying to think from the gatekeeping angle now. What haven't we covered? Unless, Nico, there's another issue that you feel like people do within the gatekeeping sphere that you want to call out, or at least want to discuss, ways in which we can be better.
I mean, I think we, in
sadly,
general,
sadly, like me and Asmo have been leading this conversation massively.
Well, I've also just been letting you guys go through it because you have so much to say. I have very limited amount of like an angle to this topic, which is fine. You know what? Sometimes it's just good to also hear two friends argue, and I can learn something. Well, I mean, argue and like discuss.
Yeah.
As I say, we haven't argued much.
No.
I guess we can like put a bow on this topic with just like breaking down some tips real quick, like just put some bullet points.
Yeah.
So out of what we've discussed, like I'll name a few, and Nathan, you can throw in a few if I don't cover some that you were thinking of. But here's like some general advice to everybody out there who's part of the gatekeeping sphere, and or I should say part of the escapist sphere. And the reason we're not specifying 40K right now is because this does apply to like pretty much every end of escapism. This is video games, comics, movies, tabletop games, tabletop war games, card games, whatever you may engage in. That's not part of the real world. That is about escapism and hobbyism and just enjoying life a little bit for yourself. This applies to you. Tip number 1. When gatekeeping, be selective with your targets. And pick your fights wisely. Because, as we mentioned before, there are scenarios where there's a lot of people who are just too primed for a fight, too hot-blooded, and just on edge, like a guard dog that's been beaten a little too much. Mm-hmm. Like, people, like, for example, with, like, just that new person who was just asking some questions and then immediately jumping on them like they were some tourist who was trying to sneak in. Don't gatekeep people who have, like, a genuine interest and are asking just normal questions. Gatekeep people who are coming in and declaring that they're going to, make 40K better by adding trans stuff and solving the masculinity issue with less toxic masculinity. Like if people just come in and they're just like, hey, I don't know much about this 40K stuff. Can you tell me a little bit about it? I've heard of this. Are there any books about this? That person, give them a chance. They might actually be interested. So gauge your response and be reasonable. Like, actually pick your fights with a level of care.
Oh, and also, this is one thing that I think is also good to know. So, I understand people get very quickly defensive on subject of, say, female space marines. The thing is, though, right? If someone is purely just asking, so are there female space marines or are there not? It's like, if
you just calmly tell them no, there are not.
Yeah, they're not. And you can also just like immediately just explain, there are multiple lore reasons why, unless they specifically engage in like, I want some female space marines for, because I think it would be more inclusive, something like that. Then, yeah, maybe then you can definitely argue on that. But
yeah,
if someone just like doesn't know,
that's a part of what I was saying. With picking your battles, it's like actually like be selective. Like, actually pay attention to the details of like the conversation. I'm not saying look for the boogeyman. That's another tip. Don't look for the boogeyman where it isn't. But
exactly,
like, just keep your eyes out casually. Like, if there is something that is very clearly politically charged and is coming from a disingenuous place, then call it out. And even then, don't immediately jump onto the fight. Start calmly, and then if they are clearly from a dedicated, like, again, like, this is not something that's hard, I would say. Like, I'm autistic, and I can, like, recognize the signs of someone who is being genuine in their misunderstanding, and someone who has, who is blatantly just trying to be manipulative and are trying to set up a soapbox. I think if you're careful and reasonable and investigative with like what you're paying attention to with the details, then you can make a very strong, educated guess and approach the situation carefully. Again, this is all a matter of being cool-headed. Like, don't be a rabid dog. As much as we need to be able to become that if it turns to that level, but reserve it for the right circumstances. Don't constantly be at Mach 10, like, start small and then move your way up if it becomes necessary.
Yeah, if it gets to that level, then sure.
Not to sound like a weeb, but it's like that fucking Japanese proverb where it's like, I'd rather be a warrior tending to his garden than a gardener in a battlefield. You'd rather be equipped for a situation rather than, find yourself in a situation where you're fighting everyone and you're not really prepared for it.
Mm-hmm.
But also, I'd say to like gauge people's reactions when you tell them about stuff, because Nico, bringing up the example that you did, let's say they ask, are there female space marines? And you go, no, there are law reasons as to why.
Yeah.
And they go, oh, that sucks. But if you then recommend saying, hey, but there are females in power armor, like the space marines, they're called the Sisters of Battle. And then they go, wait, what? And then you show them. And they're like, oh, sweet, that's the tits. Literally,
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah.
Then that's absolutely fine. Just as long as you can educate them. But the moment they go, nah, I kind of want female space marines, you're like, lost cause. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Again, it's paying attention to the details and recognizing the genuine interest versus the disingenuous. And yeah, sometimes it's fine to also like if this is like an online interaction, right? It's fine to DM a friend. Like if you're socially awkward or you have autism, like worse than I do, for example, and you like even in text you struggle to like catch on the nuances. Message a friend who's like who you can like consult and be like, hey, I think this person's being disingenuous, but I can't read them too well. What's your take? It's fine to like, bounce things off. Like if you're in that kind of circumstance. Generally, I encourage people to like use it as a self-learning experience to like recognize the social nuances. It's good practice, right? To like pay attention to the genuine versus disingenuous. It takes a little bit of practice if you're like a lot younger. But generally speaking, I think who we're talking to is adults here. And if you've had real life disingenuous and genuine social interactions, you could definitely recognize them in text form. Because people are a lot less subtle in text, especially online.
Yeah.
So yeah, outside of being selective and careful with picking your fights, and also gauging the level of which you respond to people when you do engage in one, generally another tip for gatekeeping, when dealing with the ultimate disingenuous people, when you're dealing with someone who's not willing to, like as I was talking about before, like a Radhom type or a Vosh type, or you're dealing with someone who's like that far down like a political obsession and rabbit hole that there's just no conversation to be had, you can either do the mature thing, which is disengage, or you can do what I do. Turn them into a source of entertainment. This is a genuine tip as far as I'm concerned. Like, I genuinely would recommend one of those two courses. Walk away is the mature choice, I'd say. Like, if you're dealing with that level of activist, cultist, really, if we're talking being genuine here, it's the better move is to just walk away. It's not worth the conversation. But if you have the wherewithal and the natural inclination to be a troll, have a little fun. Outside of those three big tips, the only other one I'd have is ward yourself from becoming the thing you're fighting. Like, don't be a hypocrite. Yeah, don't be a hypocrite. Like, don't start using their like, again, it's fine if they're being petty and lowbrow and they're trying to go low. I think it's fair to go low as well, but not unironically. If you're using their methods against them as a way to showcase to them that their methods suck and are disingenuous and shitty, and turn the whole thing, the whole debate and the whole like argument and the whole fight into nothing but a bunch of fucking shit flinging, like, that's fine. That's fine to do, in my opinion. Where it goes off the rails, though, is if you start using their methods and you actually start using them genuinely. Like you actually start thinking that the method or like the mentality that they're using, but just your version of it, is somehow not as shitty as theirs. Like, again, when they say cis white male and they constantly like use those buzzwords as like an active like jab and insult and belittlement, and they actually are turning those words into insults, which they shouldn't be. They should be like very bland, generic descriptions of someone. When you start using the exact same mentality, but again, not ironically, but unironically, and you start going like white suburban like liberal women, like when you start doing that shit, you sound just like them. Don't think for a second you don't, by the way. You sound exactly like they do. So before you become the devil, maybe stop using his methods for a little while. That was a metaphor. That wasn't like I wasn't going into a religious priest mode,
I,
by the way.
no, no, I got what you were saying. And I
No,
do think
that's
it is
for the sake
genuine.
of like the ultra autists that might be listening. You'd be like, well, I don't subscribe to your religion. Fuck off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So those would be my general tips and advice in regards to gatekeeping. Nathan,
Sorry about that,
or
fellas. Fucking went quiet then. Asmogan went on his religious fucking thing. I started feeling the Holy Spirit. I was shaking on the floor.
Praise
Touched by the
Lord.
Lord.
I have the power.
Oh, no, pretty much you've covered everything that we've said in terms of tips. I don't really think I can add anything more, at least off the top of my head. But I mean, obviously, for the people that are listening, feel free to type in the comments. You know, if you agree, disagree, or recommend any other tips that people can use when gatekeeping effectively in a hobby. Oh wait, no. Yeah, I do have one. Don't be so fucking black pilled easily.
Yes.
Oh yeah, the Doom
Bec-
stuff.
Yeah, so for the people, and there's so many fucking people out there, I know a particular scaly that just likes to fucking generalize everything. There's like, oh, everything's shit, everything's bad, fucking nah. It's not. If you see shit online, right, and to be fair, this goes beyond 40k, this goes in general. If you spend all of your time doom scrolling, I'll look at the videos of these people being pieces of shit. If you only engage in depressing stuff, your outlook on things is just going to only be depressing because there's nothing counteracting it. Which is why if you ever are a fan of 40k, you know, and you ever want to genuinely meet new and, you know, really nice people, just go to your local hobby store. It might be an official GW store like we have here in the UK because they're fucking everywhere. But if you have like a general hobby store, just go there and speak 40k with people. If you see people playing a game, just observe, maybe just ask some questions. You know, actually talk with these people like they're human beings and don't make 40k the central focal point of everything that you talk about with them. Right? You know, if you see people arguing on Twitter or on X over like the dumbest fucking thing in 40k because maybe someone from our side was raring to pick a fight over the most minor thing, or maybe someone on their side. I don't like saying that our side and their side, but sadly, it's the only way I can describe it effectively in the current sort of system that we're in. Like, for whatever reason, if a fight starts, don't immediately think that one person's valid and the other person isn't. Maybe both of them are just like trying to argue the toss over something small that's really non-consequential, but both people were just raring for a fight. Because again, the vocal minority are going to be online screaming their opinions because clearly they don't really have a lot of people in real life to fucking talk out their opinions. They just need to scream it at everyone online. But you'll just give in. You'll either like agree with someone hardline and then immediately start like hating the other side, or you'll immediately start hating someone because you don't agree with them. Like there's no modicum of opinion in the middle. Like you'll just become like so much of a fucking doomer because for it just genuinely upsets me when I see that so many people are putting themselves down because they're only engaging in negativity online. Like they're only seeing negativity. Like whether it's just watching something online, speaking with people online, watching the conversations somebody else is having that they're friends with have with other people, but then the conversation then turns to pure vitriol, and then it's just another argument which doesn't help anything. So yeah, that's gonna be one of mine.
Yeah, that's why I also think it's important to, you know, stake around it. You know, it's like all these buzzwords that you hear and all these talking points. Like a lot of it is not going to affect your real day-to-day life that much. So I mean, it's fine to also just take a break from the internet. You know, because if you're genuinely like getting upset over stuff that's happening on the internet, like people getting into like a toss, like a poo flinging contest with one another over the internet.
How privileged of a fucking life have you got to be to like? Yeah, you're right. to only be upset by shit that's happening on the internet. Like getting so worked about two fucking spurgs who were just whining at each other saying, you can't paint your fucking swastikas and your space marine, you can't paint your Imperial Guard as the Wehrmacht. Yeah, well, you can't I'm gonna use the phrase, you can't fucking spam a bunch of fag flags on your fucking space marine. Right. How about both of you fucking pack it in, step away? You don't know each other in real life. Paint whatever you want in your minis and just live and let be.
Exactly.
Why are you arguing on social media as if it fucking matters? It's only until you see the actual company itself then take a stand do you then come out in mass. But if it's just fucking to drain or sniffers, just like spamming fucking buzzwords on a goddamn keyboard, someone's fucking using some like political appropriate fucking slurs on either end. Like why would you even view that as like a sensible human conversation? They're just two retards who've just escaped the fucking SCP facility, and the retard handlers haven't fucking pulled them back in yet. That's about it. So stop. So please, for the love of God, people that are listening, do not become doomers. Do not think the internet is the only space that there is for like human communication, because 90% of the time, at least in my experience, if you just go out, no one cares. No one gives a shit. Fucking mate, right? Rent's going up for everyone. Fucking minimum wage is having to go up because the economy's down the fucking shit. There are so many other issues in life to worry about, and you're worried about what the fuck someone is painting the plastic middle fucking class extortionate hobby minis in. Genuinely get an actual fucking problem rather than go, you painted Magnus the red blue because you don't like communism. Oh yeah, well you painted your Imperial Guard as the fucking Wehrmacht, you fucking Nazi. Fucking goms, I swear to God. Don't be a doomer, please. Everyone, enjoy life. We've only got a short one. Only got a short run. Make the most of it. Speak to people. Make friends. Visit your family. I don't fucking know. Just
go to a bar.
Yeah, fucking go to a bar, get drunk, meet some fellas, go dig a hole at a beach because every guy loves digging holes.
It is sad to say this, but that is genuinely, all jokes aside, genuinely more productive for your life to go out to a bar and get drunk and just meet and hang out with real people than it is to spend an hour on Twitter, Reddit, Tumblr, wherever the fuck you are, and debate and argue people for hours on end. This is someone who's done that. When I've done that, it has been a waste of my life that could have gone to anything more productive and more genuinely impactful to my life. So, to all of you out there who do that, know that you are wasting your life lamenting over it. Like, it's fine again for your own entertainment to get involved in some like trolling online, and I'm not saying like it's not bad to push back against like woke stuff. Again, like, we are all here in support of gatekeeping and keeping out political activism in our hobbies. We're all here in support of that. We all do it. But you still need to live your fucking life.
Yes.
So go out, get a drink, and meet people. Real people.
Hell, if you have goals, so you have particular dreams, go out and try and pursue them. That's what I'm doing personally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I ever meet somebody in real, like, okay, right, let's say I'm at work, right, and I'm grabbing like a nice fucking, cup of tea from the fucking canteen or whatever, right? If I'm genuinely stood there, right, stirring my tea, and one of my colleagues walks up next to me and goes, I'm feeling a bit depressed today. I'm like, why? Let's talk about it. Given the countless people I know whose family members have cancer, the countless people I know that have their finances in ruin because of a few bad decisions or something that's happened to them out of their control, people with medical conditions, people who are living paycheck to paycheck, wondering if they're going to keep the lights on next month. If somebody walks up next to me, right, keep in mind all these other people put on a brave face and keep coming into work and smile. If someone walks up to me and calls themselves depressed or angry or sad, and I go, why? And they go, because somebody who I've never met and I've only briefly interacted with for 5 minutes on the internet said that I didn't drill my fucking bolters. Mister, I hope you're fucking listening. I didn't drill my bolters or magnetize my base. Some person said that to me, and now I'm depressed. Well, what did you say to them back? I told them to kill themselves. I'd fucking slap them. Like, you pathetic bastard. That's what you're gonna do? He said I didn't paint the right shade on my fucking Sanguinius and the sword looks a bit wonky. And you cried over that? Yeah, kinda. I wish I have your life, mate. I wish I have your life. Oh my...
Yeah.
Oh, my
I can't help but laugh.
oh my god.
No, because there are people out there that do that. Like, they have the most minor fucking problem, but then they'll happily go online and bitch at everyone else. You know, they won't take actual human problem to consideration, and they'll value the opinion of somebody who is not going to argue in good faith and take their opinions dead seriously. And all of a sudden, that will fuel their own hatred for somebody or a group of people that they've never met. It will consume their lives. The Spurgs, pretty much 90% of people in the Warhammer hobby are fucking Spurgs. Some are just good Spurgs, some are bad Spurgs. You've just got to read each other's Spurginess. But for fuck's sake, do not let it control your life if someone disagrees with you. Or like, oh my fucking god, no. That's my point. Nico, do you have any tips or fucking tricks for gatekeeping or whatever before we move on?
Aside from the one that I just gave, I think I'm all out.
Yeah, no, kingship, nice.
Okay. Alright, so I guess we're going to the minor topic we have today, which is from Nico. Nico?
And this one is... let me just look up, how did I word it correctly? It was, what artist would you love to see do 40k or fantasy artwork? It can literally be anyone in any style, so even if the person is dead or stuff like that, you know, it's like, doesn't matter. It's like, I'm fully letting you have the full reins on this. So...
As a joke or serious?
No, I'm being serious. Well, you can.
like art style, as in like serious additions to the 40k sort of art sphere, or do you mean like we can even pick joke artists that'll just do like silly renditions of 40k characters? Like,
yes,
which one
we
do
can.
you mean?
We can even do joke artists, if you so want.
So I have a serious response.
Okay.
Mine would have to be Kentaro Miura, or Mura.
Ooh, nice choice.
Yeah. For context, he is the manga artist for Berserk. Well, he passed away, unfortunately.
Motherfucker, you picked my one.
Sorry. But I mean, it's such an immediate one that comes to mind. Like that artwork, the gorgeous art that he's done for Berserk. It's already very reminiscent of 40k, or not just 40k, but like warmer grimdark. It's so good, especially like one of the first artworks that comes to mind is like when he draws guts in like those rage moments.
Oh,
like,
yes,
the visceralness. It's so poignant and dark. So I it's a very easy pick for me. Kentaro Miura. Easily a good point, and I apologize if I'm not pronouncing his name correctly.
No, that's all right.
But yeah, like I feel like that is in a common pick people would have for this question, but it's just there's a reason for that. It's just too on point for it. If there was an artist I could, unfortunately he's passed, but if I could have commissioned him for some 40k artwork, I would have.
Oh yeah, and to add a little bit of an interesting wrinkle of it, and let's just say it's even if it's let's so what would you have him if he was still with us? Rest in peace. What would you have had him draw if you can think of anything?
Oh, off the top of my head, very easily. The moment, if I could have him do like a full comic, but if am I limited to like one piece?
Mhm.
But if I could do like a short comic, I'd have him do like this segment where Sigismund and Abaddon are dueling on the bridge of Sigismund's flagship during the initial first Black Crusade. Those moments are very like would lend themselves so well to his art style, and like Sigismund drawn like guts, like clawing, like slicing and dicing away at Abaddon, and then fighting, and then him successfully stabbing Abaddon all the way through, and then being like disemboweled and like sliced in half by Horus's claw. All of that in his style, in Kentaro Miura's style.
Mm-hmm.
That would be a dream come true to see in that art
Yeah.
style. It would be so beautiful.
Oh yeah, a very good choice, Nathan. Do you have any? What particular artist would you love to see do a 40K or even fantasy?
Ah, fuck. I'm trying to find a particular painting that I'd seen like ages ago, and I'm trying to find the name of the artist.
Can
So,
you describe it? Because I know.
No, I don't think it's one that you've at least. No, I can't do any I can't do any justice describing it, so I'm just trying to find it. I know exactly where to find it. It's just a bit of a rabbit hole. I've got to go down to you go first.
Okay, so now if and this is something I probably should have said earlier, like if you have, like you can go with one artist or two. In this case, I'll just go with one, just because Asmo did one. So for me, there are, like I said, there are several that I want to do, but if I can only pick one, it would be Nate Jones. And his art, and I posted the pictures. He does a lot of dark fantasy artwork, and he even did uh the comic for. I don't know if you heard of the Death Dealer painting by Frank Frazetta. It's one of the most famous paintings that he's ever done. He and his daughter, well, his daughters, they've basically have commissioned a couple of artists to do certain stories with the Death Dealer, because he does not really have a defined origin, so you can kind of
Yeah.
just go, you can kind of go your own direction. And Nate Jones just knocked it out of the park. Just, oh, it's beautiful. It's gritty. It's very, oh, the detail, it looks gorgeous, and I think it would absolutely work for. No, it could work for both 40K and fantasy. I would love to see, and to go like, what would I love to see him do? I would. I would love to see him do Night Lords, right? I would love to see
Yeah.
him render
yeah.
Night Lords. Oh, that would be so cool. Oh, yeah, that is my choice, at least for just one.
Yeah, no, hard agree.
You have you found it, or?
Yes, I have. So although Asmogan picked a dead, technically, artist, but obviously he passed away recently. Nico, you picked an artist that I believe is still alive.
Yep, he's still alive.
So
I picked one that's debilitatingly ill.
that's
That's what it sounds like.
Middleman. So would you guys agree that you would call 40K grandiose in scale, right?
Yes.
Well, so when I immediately think of grandiose, I think of well, a word that is also synonymous with grandiose would be stuff on a biblical scale. So I'm choosing an artist that was very heavily influential in the biblical art that he'd made. And I'm gonna go with a Mr. John Martin, who was alive. Fucking when did he die? 1854. He died. But imagine 40k in the style of that. Like the old like back when you had religious, not biblical artists.
I've seen that painting, Pandemonium. Oh, nice. Yeah, that would be
Like imagine that, but like so remember the like the very popular 40k art piece where it's like the Imperator Titan versus like the Orc Stomper.
Yeah.
Imagine if he did that, like he redid that. Or like all the old works with like the Crimson Fist having like a last stand against the orcs. Or maybe John Martin's rendition, like because obviously he's very biblical, you know, very sort of grandiose, very grand scale. Imagine if he did the Golden Throne or the Gate to Eternity.
Oh, I'm picturing it now. It is.
Because back then, those painters, fucking hell,
They went
okay, Asmo, there's four. Okay, Asmo, there's four things that get me fully erect. The other things is the painting by John Martin. He's so good.
Oh, jeez.
This is back when art was actually art, not the banana on the wall shit.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. I'm gonna try my best to avoid that.
Well, I mean, mainstream art. Yeah, that I wish mainstream art would go back to that, like, because these paintings just like I'm not sure if you're gonna put some of these paintings in full view on the fucking edited version of the podcast, but just orgasm worthy.
Drink it in.
Yes, they are paintings that like you always wonder why people stand there at art galleries and stare at art pieces for 10 minutes. Like modern day shit, you wouldn't understand why, but back then, if I saw somebody staring at this for 10 minutes, I'd be like, I understand.
Yeah, they're looking for all the
I
detail.
get you.
It's like every time you look at it, there's like another little tiny detail that you didn't notice the first time, and they're like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
exactly. These are the kind that have such depth and scale to them that you could stare at them for hours and still find new stuff.
Yeah. So I'm gonna post another of John Martin, right? That's when he's done. Imagine like the siege outside of Terra in that style.
Oh, that would be
like you've got Sanguinius, like his massive flaming biblical angel sword just tearing down the demons. Marines broken over the side of fucking reinforced concrete walls. Brother holding brother as he's dying. More Chaos Space Marines legion in the walls. You can see like tons and tons of Imperial and Chaos Space Marine flagships in the distance, explosions across a starry. Oh my fucking! If I could resurrect one man back for 40k, it'd be fucking John Martin.
Stop! I can only get so hard.
Nicho's a full mast.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I do have like one other, but if I'm willing, like we can do one more if you guys want. If you have someone else in mind.
I don't.
Well,
I only had I only had the one that came to mind. I'd have to take a while to think about a second.
Yeah.
I mean, I have one ready if you don't mind.
Yeah,
no, go on.
You greedy bastard.
So, yeah.
he fucking did this last time with the models thing. Like, I can have a fourth.
Yeah. Well,
the pitch was for one. All right, here's 7. Wait, what?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Right, but so one of my favorite comic book artists of all time, Andrea Sorrentino, Italian, and one of the reasons I love him is just he knows how to not only just to do good panel layouts, but like he knows how to move the story. Look at that.
Yeah, that's gorgeous.
Yeah, I would love to see him do like Imperial Guard story. That because that not only would that, relatively speaking, be more easy to do, but like he would bring so much style into it. Very tight. What do you think about the dinosaur?
Although actually, now that I think, I might be in trouble. Because you said pick your favorite artist that you'd like to see 40k. Gee, it's almost like I'm not currently dating one right now. That I should have picked as an option. Hang on, if you listen really closely, I can hear the chancellor flying all the way from Spain to the UK.
To be fair, and I love Tehe, like I do, but her art style is not what I'd say like.
Yeah, no, I'm joking. Like I wouldn't seriously think of it as like a 40k artist. Like she's very sort of cartoonish.
Yeah, like she like the realism artwork. I don't think is. I could be wrong. Like I've only ever seen her more cartoonish style, but she'd be a great pick if you were looking for less serious stuff. I guess like that's probably not the best way to put it, but maybe less grandiose stuff.
Yeah.
So, did any of you guys had a second pick or?
No. Only had the one. Only had the one.
Okay. Yep, only had the one.
Sorry, well, not all of us are
well, I do have another. Nah.
All right, so that is that for that. I guess we're on to community questions.
Yeah.
Questions? Yes, definitely fucking can do. First question. Speaking of artists, Mr. Pyrrhus. What kind of pizza would each Primarch order?
Do we actually have to go through each one?
I can't imagine this will take long because.
Okay.
It's not a big thought-provoking question. It's what pizza with the fucking Primarchs eat.
Knowing us, we could go on for hours because we like. So let's do this. Okay, let's do this. I'm gonna try and like, so we could structure this, right?
I have a list of Primarchs.
Okay. Right. Do you want me to go down the list, or do you want to go down the list?
I'll go down the list because I'm the community question person.
All right. So we'll go with each Primarch. And then we'll all just say why, and we're not gonna like we could joke about each other's answers briefly, and like obviously tease them, but let's not go on like a 5-minute, like 20-minute tangent for each one.
The viewers want autism. We shall give them autism.
My hard drive can't fit the autism, so.
Okay, so first one, Lionel Johnson.
Anchovies, onions, and sausage.
Are we just doing pizza toppings, or like can we even add some silly stuff?
That's not silly enough.
Just pizza toppings.
I was gonna go with lion loins. Like sirloin.
It's just pizza. What fucking pizza has sirloins on it? That's an expensive fucking pizza.
I mean, if you want to go that wacky, I guess the only rule is it has to be put on a pizza.
Okay.
Lion loin?
Yeah, it's something that
is it just because of the lion thing?
No, it's well, a little bit, but also because my sister's husband
a little bit.
My sister's husband, I mean, he's British, and he told me about he was gonna nickname me Sirloin, and I was like, wait, what? Oh yeah, Sirloin. It's the favorite part of a certain king, and he knighted the whole dish. If I remember that correctly.
Oh, that was a lame joke. I've heard that joke told many a time. I now knight you sirloin. Haha, funny. It's on fucking tea towels up and down the country.
Jeez.
On postcards too.
Okay. I'd agree with Nico, but I'd say like steak. You'd have like steak chunks on his pizza because lion carnivore, so. But he's also a very strong and hardy man, and steak is for strong and hardy people. People with like gums in their mouth do not eat steak because they can't chew it.
With how stringent and like deceptive he can be and kind of manipulative, I think he's an anchovies guy. Anchovies and onions guy. The sausage is like the protein I think he'd go with.
Steak and anchovies.
I think anchovies, onions, and sausage.
You could go with olives.
I
Steak,
guess.
steak and olives.
I'll add
Olives are
paprika.
green, so.
Yeah, I'll add green paprika. That's obvious.
Wait, green paprika?
Paprika, yeah?
Paprika with a
Paprika
dye in
can
it?
be green.
Yeah.
I guess if you dye the powder green, yeah.
Fucking shite are you doing in Iceland?
Alright,
God
so
damn.
that's it for the lion. Next one.
The lion is Fulgrim.
Meat lovers.
Yes, but I imagine I'd imagine Fulgrim would have several types of meat on his pizza, but also he would demand
Lots of sausage.
stuffed crust because he likes being stuffed from behind. With extra tomatoes.
Spaghetti and specifically 2 meatballs.
On a pizza?
Yes.
Why the spaghetti? I get the meatballs, but why the spaghetti?
You know, you know, the you know,
No, I
the
don't.
length, well, I mean, what's
Jesus
the 2
fucking
meat?
Christ, like I'm talking with 5-year-olds. The cock and balls, Asmo. The fucking the meat and 2 veg.
Spaghetti conjures the dick image for you guys. I don't like.
What do you mean for you fucking guys? You're the one that didn't pick it up. It's spaghetti and meatballs. Haha, funny innuendo. Nico's a 5-year-old. He won't fucking say what it means. He's like, the private mail thingy. But you're not fucking picking it up. It's the cock and balls.
No, I don't get
That's
it.
what it is.
How floppy are y'all's dicks that you see spaghetti as representative of your member?
Just because we can fucking think of it doesn't mean it's representative. Like over here, a lot of sausages are filled with apple chunks. My dick is a 50% fucking fruit. It's in fruit, but it doesn't mean it's fucking 50% fruit.
For the shaft to be conjured up for an image, you have to think of something like hearty and like, you know.
Yeah, we don't have to think of something anatomically fucking correct. It's just a long stringy thing. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, technically, I thought of it because it was, floppy in its natural form. But
Fuck.
Y'all are weird in Europe. Y'all are really weird.
I'm getting lightheaded now.
Okay. So, all right. Next Primarch.
Petaraba.
Mushrooms.
Cheeseless sauced pizza.
Isn't that just like tomato sauce on like dough?
Yep.
I guess mushroom. That's like the only thing I can think of when I think of Petaraba.
I think of bland nothingness. And whiny bitch boy. So, topless pizza. Just crust and tomato sauce.
Because I'd imagine you'd have like something on there, even if it's like super lame. I reckon Petaraba would have 3 cheese pizza. Like it's bland, but there's a little bit of spice to it. He's sticking to what he knows, but like to a certain, like he's mixing several types of cheese on his pizza.
How about flatbread? I feel like he's a flatbread guy. All toppings, no substance, as in no sauce.
Do you hate Perturabo that much that you'd say fucking flatbread pizza?
Yes, I would. I fucking would.
Good.
I don't hate him as much as Gilliman. You won't love my answer for Gilliman.
That'll be funny. Yeah, Perty, I can imagine a 3-cheese pizza. He's bland, but he's sticking to what he knows. He is fortifying his own position. Nico. Perturabo.
I already said mushrooms. That's like the only thing I can think of.
Okay, yeah, sorry. Okay, next, Jagatai. He's Mongol, so he's got fucking dog meat on his pizza.
Dog meat and gasoline, I guess.
Dog meat and gasoline.
You want to go fast?
Healthiest meal in all of Mongolia.
Uh,
I reckon he wouldn't have a big pizza. I reckon it would be a case of two or three mini pizzas with dog meat on it, because he's a speedy Primarch, so he wants to eat his food just as quickly.
so quick question: have you guys had Mongolian beef pizza or barbecue pizza?
No.
I've had barbecue beef pizza. Yeah.
I would say that. Now, like, I can't remember the whole list of toppings. It's got a lot of stuff on it, but it's got chives, beef, obviously. So a kind of teriyaki sauce, a little bit in there. Some barbecue-like sauce. I think it also has some bacon and ham. Green pepper. It's like 2 other things on there. I'm not remembering. But point is, it's actually quite tasty. It's definitely not a type of pizza for someone who's... If you're not looking for an explosion of a lot of flavors in your mouth, like if you're more simplistic, this is not the pizza for you. But
I mean,
I'd say like barbecue pizza, beef barbecue pizza.
If you want something explosive, just go to Taco Bell.
Oh yeah, that's not even pizza. You fucking...
I know that's... Never mind.
Okay, so Lion. Lion, I think, is Meat Feast. Just
Wait,
Meat Feast pizza.
Did we do the lion?
No, we did Jagatai.
Wait, who did we start with?
We've had Lion. Oh shit! Fuck.
Oh,
Fuck was...
I was gonna say we started with a lion.
Sorry, they look the same. Fucking Lehman Russ. Meat Feast.
Meat Feast.
That man is straight carnivore. That's like
no cheese.
pure.
Just meat.
Yeah, it's literally just pepperoni and bacon bits on the dough. There's like no cheese, no sort of fucking no cheese, no tomato sauce.
And I'd go a little further. Meat calzone.
Well, that's what I mean by Meat Feast. It could have doner, it could have bacon, it could have chicken. It could have...
You know what a calzone is, right?
Yeah.
It's like the folded pizza.
Yeah.
Yeah,
true. You can get more hearty bites out of it, I suppose.
Yeah. That's the kind of that's the kind of like pizza dish you get when you were just like.
Yeah. Nico, what about you?
In keeping with the Viking theme, I think you would definitely eat Svith, which is... do you remember that photo of the sheep's head that I sent you?
You sent me a photo with a sheep's head?
Yeah, hang on.
He was trying to curse you.
Hey, wait a minute.
If you do not share this picture with 10 of your friends, you will invite the hurdy-gurdy virus upon your home.
Hurdy-gurdy virus.
I'm talking about this.
I don't remember you sending me that ever.
I remember getting that image, but Nico, I'm thinking practically as regular pizza toppings, not a fucking sheep's head on a goddamn pizza.
I mean, in keeping with the Viking theme, he would definitely put this on his pizza.
Yeah, but you'd have to dice it up into like little bits because it still has to be on the pizza.
That's literally what you do. You you take a piece of the
Not
knife,
according to that
right?
image. According to that image, it's just like
but
fucking go to town on the head.
Well,
You wouldn't
That's-
even dice up the meat. You'd have to wrap the sheep's head in the fucking dough. You'd have to eat it as like the world's biggest burrito.
or he could just, I mean, he is a Primarch, so he could definitely bite through the bones. That ain't a problem.
Okay, right. Next Primarch is Rogel Dawn.
Cheese
Rogel
pizza
Dawn.
with pepperoni.
Yeah, regular cheese pizza, blandest fucking thing out there.
Not because he's bland, I would argue. It's because simplicity, but refined simplicity. The best cheese pizza you've ever had.
Let's
I
see.
don't know. I don't know. I would call him bland, and it kind of like
Oh, you'd be
the
wrong.
idea.
I'm thinking cheese and pineapple.
He's bland as shit.
You get that pineapple and shove it up your ass. That does not belong on anyone's pizza, let alone Dorn's.
Rogel Dawn will have the most blandest fucking thing because it represents him, and that's my fucking also my justification for Perturabo for having 3 cheese pizza because he's seen what Dawn's doing and he's trying to one up him in the most pettiest of ways possible. It's like, "Ha, I've got more cheese than you."
So who's next? Conrad Curse, right?
Conrad Kurz.
Pineapple, anchovies, kettle corn,
Sushi pizza.
and a little bit of whipped cream.
I imagine sushi pizza because like this man wants to perform pure psyop, like terror ops on his fucking enemies.
This guy is demented, so he'd want to frighten everyone around him with the ingredients on it.
Yeah.
I kind of imagine that he would put a piece of heretic bacon. Like he just he peels a little bit, you know.
Oh yes.
Put
Yeah. Skim a little
Yeah.
off the top.
Off the top. Yeah.
Okay. Next is Sanguinius.
Hmm.
Pepperoni and ham slices with stuffed crust.
Stuffed crust and extra tomato. Because this man's all about red and blood.
Yeah, for me,
Yeah,
like
I'll-
the ham and the pepperoni is because I think he'd still like a little bit of protein, like a heart, like. But I don't think he's like so like obsessive. He'd like do like a ton of ingredients. I'm not saying Sanguinius is simplistic, but I'd say he's more. He's acceptable of a more direct pizza, I'd say.
Oh yeah.
And the ham slices and pepperoni because he could slice up a good enemy or two.
Yeah. Ham slices, pepperoni.
And I'd agree on the extra tomato.
Stuffed crust.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd agree with the extra tomato.
Yeah. I pretty much just I think Asmo's pick was pretty direct with Sanguinius, so I'll just go with that as well.
Okie doke. So the next Primarch is the forgettable one.
Ferris Manus?
Ferris Manus.
Okay.
Wait, who's number? Okay, never mind.
Ferris Manus is a pizza to-go box that when you open it up, there's nothing in there.
Yeah, they forgot the pizza.
Forgot to order him one. 'Cause they forgot him.
I
We're
can't.
gonna die.
I can't think of anything else. The only thing I can think of is like, haha, funny. He would definitely take motor oil because he would definitely want. I don't know. I can't think of anything.
That's not even really his thing. That's his Legion's thing.
I know that was a joke. But
I'm
never mind.
thinking.
Well, it's a joke that doesn't make any sense though.
Yeah, that's
Like,
why
don't
I'm
sigh
not-
at
I'm not-
me. It doesn't make any sense.
I'm not gonna bother. Then I'm not gonna bother answering because I can't think of anything.
The only thing I can think of is black olives because they're black and the semi-bland, which is what Ferris Manus reminds me of, like black armor and just forgettable. Which is a shame, because black olives have the potential to be great, which is what I think Ferris Manus is. but fuck me, just by itself, underutilized and boring as shit. So regular pizza, just spammed with black olives. That's it. Next Primark.
Yep.
This one should be easy. Angron. I'm thinking
Red peppers, green peppers, yellow peppers, lots of black pepper, and pepperoni.
Good choice. I'm thinking
Uh,
like every single ingredient but red, like red peppers. So first of all, every single type of meat. So this motherfucker's like a hyper meat feast. You've got stuffed red crust. You've got extra tomatoes for red and blood and stuff. You know that theme. You've got like meat butchers, whatever. But it's all in the style of a Chicago deep dish pizza, which is just pure fucking tomato. Like, this man is red. It's just red, the pizza. In fact, you know what? Fuck it. No cheese. Because that's yellow. That's Dawn's thing. Fuck it. Red.
I think it would go with everything meat, but I think it would take it raw because it's redder.
Take it, bro. Ooh, fucking. It's Nico. What do you mean, take it raw?
Take it raw. Meat, raw meat.
Yeah,
the slices,
yeah,
bacon,
fucking talking about the taking raw meat. Ooh la la.
We've already made Fulgrim jokes, so I'll abstain.
Okay, next one. Gilliman.
every kind of pineapple.
Breadsticks with no cheese and no sauce.
I don't know. I feel like Gilliman would have it like, do you know those massive sort of pizza challenges you can get in New York, where like if you eat the entire pizza, you get it for free? I can imagine like a colossal sized pizza, but it's regular cheese, like he's trying to show off. So he's grandiose in sort of objective and principle, but when you actually properly look at it, there's just nothing of sustenance. Like the only thing he is just big in scale. But what is big is nothing.
That's a fair one. If I absolutely have to choose a pizza and I can't do bland breadsticks, caviar pizza with lobster slices.
True. Yeah. Very show-offy.
Pretty
What
haughty.
about you, Nico?
What I think he would deserve is every kind of pineapple. If I'm picking a serious one,
He would eat pineapple.
he would. Yeah, he would. Look, because I'm trying to go with something very bland, forgettable, bland. I guess we'll go with ham. Go with just regular cheese. Nothing special. I don't know. That's like the blandest thing I can think of.
He's very set in his ways. Okay, next one is Magnus the Red. I genuinely think Magnus the Red would actually eat pineapple on pizza. Because even amongst his brothers, I don't even think he's liked by anyone. So he's the most universally hated.
I think he would go with... because he's kind of an overcomplicated person, I think. Sometimes.
Yeah, just it's a spam of an ingredients into the pizza. He's like overloaded.
He'd probably do pineapple, ham, bacon bits, anchovies. Probably he'd do garlic sauce on the crust, but then also do a dusting of paprika on them. And I'd say he'd probably do some extra tomato, but not tomato in the sauce. I think he'd do like tomato slices on top.
Yeah.
Oh, and just for the Zinchian randomness, rock candy.
Blech.
Blue rock candy.
if I'm going full Zinch on this, bit of octopus and a bit of chicken.
Mm.
No,
Squid
bird
and
analogy.
chicken.
Squid and chicken.
And tentacles.
Chicken.
How unorthodox and yet so revolutionary.
Okay, so the next Primarch is Logar.
Am I allowed to say he would full blown eat like would he eat a Bible?
Would he? Yes.
Buy Bible scriptures on pizza.
Dildo shaped pizza?
I think that was what he would deserve.
He likes taking it up the ass from all his gods, so.
It's like a dildo shaped calzone, right?
Yeah. Quarter of the pizza would be like cornate themed with a lot of red shit on it. A quarter of it would be like rock candy and pineapple and shit for Zinch. A quarter of it would be mushrooms and a bunch of nasty, like olives and anchovies and shit for Nurgle. And then another quarter of it would be lots of sausage.
Sausage.
And crack cocaine.
Yeah.
Sausage
Yeah,
and
no,
crack
that's fair.
cocaine for Slanesh. Then you wrap it up and shove it up as a suppository.
Okay, so next pizza serving up is Vulcans. I think it's a regular pizza, but it's just burnt to shit.
I think it'd be a really. I would probably say he would do a New York style pizza, like the big ones, but like yeah, a little scorched. I won't jokingly say like black scorched, but I'd say scorched, like well cooked.
I don't know. Have you seen his skin, Asmo?
I have.
That motherfucker is so black he absorbs light. He is Vanta black.
Well, yeah, you want to see his pizza though, so just really well cooked. Some scorching, but not like pure black.
You can see the fucking pizza because the pizza's that black. It's the only thing on the table.
He wouldn't want it
that's
so
not absorbing
black that he wouldn't want it so black that when Russ eventually finished his own pizza and started stealing other people's, that he would mistake biting his brother on the hand as opposed to trying to bite the crust.
Well, Vulcan would have already finished his pizza by then, and also Vulcan, who is a very nice Primarch and very happy and cheerful, would not mind sharing, would he not?
Yeah, but Russ doesn't want him to like share. He wants the competition. Part of stealing the slices, the joy of it anyway, is the confrontation.
Well, Vulcan would happily give it up, so it'd piss fucking Russ off either way. It's like, no, brother, you've got to fight me for your slices. What do you mean, brother? You can have my slice. I'm not that hungry anyway. I will give you headbutts as you eat my pizza on my lap.
Russ, I imagine at like a dinner party would kind of be like, I don't know how many people are anime fans out there that watch this shit, but I think it's Kimetsu no Yaiba, Demon Slayer, that anime. When they are first hanging out with Inosuke outside of initially meeting him, and they're eating food with him, and he starts stealing food from the main character, whose name I'm starting to forget. He starts stealing food from him, and he's just trying to instigate a fight. And he starts screaming his head off in anger when it doesn't work. I think that'd be Russ. He'd just be stealing people's food, not because he actually wants to eat all their food, although that is like a bonus. But he's just hoping someone will stop or try and stop him.
Nico, what about you for Vulcan?
Vulcan. I would say a burned pizza with a bit of glowing chili.
Yeah, I can imagine Vulcan's like the spiciest of them all.
Glowing chili and alligator jerky.
Ooh, yeah. Now we're talking.
Yeah, salamanders. Yeah. Okay, so next is Mr. Depressed Boy himself, Raven Daddy.
What's a depressed pizza?
Well, I think he would unironically have a raven meat. Because bear in mind, sometimes you can do that. I mean, hell, I've had puffin meat before. It's delicious. So raven bits on pizza with a bit of what's it called? What's the name of the things that's kind of like a raisin but not.
I'm not sure.
Wait a minute. How do you say? Let's see.
Prune?
Wait a minute.
Are you going for prune or?
Wait, hang on. I'm looking for it. It's almost there. Where is it? No. Jeez.
Oh my god.
A date? No.
Yeah, date.
Oh, that's a date. Oh, okay. So that's what it is.
think it so I've got one for Comrade, so not Comrade Curse, Corvus Corax.
Mm-hmm.
So basically he would just have his as black olives, right? So it's, you know, it's just black, it's depressing. But I reckon he would have like a regular pepperoni pizza. But the pepperonis are all like realigned into a sad face, and he's just sat there looking at it.
Oh.
Like he's crying in front of his pizza.
Yeah, I'll go with that one because I can't really think of like a depressed, like pizza for me is like inherently joyful.
I know it's a lovely
Crying
comfort
it.
food.
Yeah.
Can you just imagine that while Korax is just cooking his pizza, he's just going, crying in my dough.
The closest I can think of is like if he spray painted the pizza black.
That's why I said black olives, because like it's the closest sort of, well, it's the most black thing you can have on a pizza.
That or scorch it, kind of like Vulcans, but like scorch it, like everything on it's just like charcoal.
Yeah, you can't even eat it. That's why it's absurd. Okay, doke. So next Primarch is Alfarius and Omegon. Which I think immediately the pizza will be half and half.
Yeah, I think the pizza would
yeah.
be half.
I think the pizza will be half and half, right? But I think it'll be the same ingredients because they're the same fucking thing.
Actually, this is how I visualize it. Like, you unveil the box, and it's a pizza cut in half, but one half is actual pizza slices, the other half is a calzone, but they have the exact same ingredients in them.
Yeah. What about you, Nico?
Alfarius. Well, I kind of mentioned that they would do something mirrored. So, for example, like you have, let's say on one side, you have stuff like, you know, circle ham, and on the other side you have pepperoni, and on the one side you have, say, red paprika, and on the other side you have green paprika. You know, just basically mirror version of each other's ingredients.
Oh shit! Like I can imagine actually now that you mention like, the Alpha Legion, like the Hydra, but made out of green paprika.
Yeah.
And like there's a head going off into each slice.
Like, yeah, I think that would be interesting to see.
So final Primarch is the Horus.
Do we do Mortarion?
No, we did not do Mortarion.
No, we did not. I'm surprised we missed off Mortarion, actually.
That's fine. I was just wondering because I was like, I had one prepared for him. I didn't.
Okay, no, okay, let's do Mortarion first. Let's end on Horus. Mortarion, I think, for me, is just mushrooms. Just pure mushroom pizza.
Mushrooms, eyeballs, and some cat hair.
Mushrooms and anchovies. It just stinks. It's
A little
horrible.
bit of haggis.
Yeah, it's fair.
Mushrooms, anchovies. This will sound weird. Rotten. What was the name of it again?
Sardines.
No.
Oh.
I mean, definitely rotten sardines.
I said anchovies.
But no. I'll just go with what I already picked. So,
Okay.
yeah.
So, now we end with Horace.
Horace.
Which is kind of upsetting me, the fact that Horace, with his extensive amount of lore, is not get. I've got one. Doe.
Just doe.
Still.
I reckon it's just Doe because it perfectly represents the Horus heresy. You have all of that build up to get to the pizza shop. And then the final product, what you're left with, the perfect representation for the Death in the End, Volume 3, is just a shadow of what it once was.
We're
A shell.
Just not gonna let that one go, and we shouldn't. But
Well, fuck it. Yeah, I was gonna say, like with you, like that's so disappointing the way that fucking series ended. So yeah, Horace is just Doe because it used to be something great, but now it's just a husk with a tiny little metal shank in the middle of the fucking dough because apparently that's what the Emperor used to kill him.
Cleaver.
A sad reminder.
how? A cooked bowl of dough with a razor blade in the middle.
Basing on his characterization and everything before the end of the Death Volume 3, I'd probably say a standard pepperoni pizza.
Why was he redeemed?
No. Because
Exactly.
before that, and based on the old lore we always said, he was comfort food. Evil, like in terms of what he became and everything, of course, but in terms of like his actual like character, he was a comfortable character with room for improvement, right? Because pepperoni pizza is next to cheese pizza is the most basic pizza, right? It has the most room to add ingredients, has the most room to like modification, right? But it still has a little bit of spice.
Is that every Primarch or?
That is indeed every single fucking Primarch done. So, do we have time for one more?
Yeah, at least one more.
Yeah, sure.
One more. Fuck. Khan, what's your favorite guy's non-Warhammer villain?
Ooh.
Favorite non-Warhammer villain?
Any villain that's not in Warhammer.
Yep.
Oh, I have an answer for this one, but you guys want to go first, or?
No, I don't have an answer to this. Fuck.
Okay.
Wow.
So let me just grab the image real quick. Definitely take that out. All right, so I'll just go first, and this is my favorite non-40k villain. Atrocitus of the Red Lantern Corps.
Ooh.
So, oh yeah, yeah, that's the thing. I read a lot of Green Lantern comics, and it's actually a lot more varied than people think it is. And the reason I enjoy Atrocitus is his backstory, because he's just on the thin edge of anti-hero and villain. Like, he can comfortably be in either, right? So basically, the backstory of Atrocitus: he used to be called Atros, just regular. He is a being called a Ryutian because of the home planet called Ryut. Now, before the Green Lanterns were a thing, you had the Manhunters, right? The Manhunters, they were a mechanical police force, and their whole thing was detecting, basically doing what the Green Lanterns are doing, but just as robots. The problem is that they went haywire. The Manhunters went haywire, and they started to decide that the only way to bring about true peace, to bring about true justice, would be to eliminate every emotion, because again, they're a computer. They think, so every act of crime stems from some being who has an emotion. Therefore, no emotion, there is no crime. And they went on an absolute, like I said, they went on a massacre across just many sectors. And one of them was Atrocitus' sector. Now, the thing is, he survived, and he witnessed his entire family die. He witnessed his entire species die. He was pissed. He wanted revenge. He wanted to get up on someone, up against the Guardians of Oa, which is the name of the people who actually control the Green Lanterns. Now, with Atrocitus, his whole thing, and this is a bit before he became a Red Lantern, because he actually created the Red Lantern Corps, is that he had a vision of the future who would bring about the Blackest Night. So if you've ever heard the Green Lantern oath, in Blackest Day, in Brightest Day, in Blackest Night, right? The whole piece of the Blackest Night is that it's an actual prophecy. So even so one day there will be a Blackest Night, and that actually is one of the coolest events I've ever read. Anyway, so he saw who would become the Herald, basically to bring that in. A man called William Hand, who would later become the leader of the Black Lantern Corps, known as Black Hand, right? He wanted to assassinate him because he knew he was going to bring about destruction. However, he's captured, and he is brought by Sinestro to a planet called Ismalt. And this is where I get to the interesting part. He and 4 other people, they decide to form a sort of a group, right, called the 5 Inversions. Now, a thing that Atrocitus did, because he is so absolutely furious, and bear in mind, he is I don't remember if he time traveled into the past, into the future, or if his species just lives that long. But regardless, he has just had this absolute rage and wanted to get vengeance. So he decides, a bit of the ritual is that he kills the other 4 of the 5 Inversions.
This motherfucker's like Angron of DC.
A little bit. And the thing is, within their blood, not only comes out the first Red Lantern ring, but also the power battery of the Red Lantern Corps. And I actually have this comic ready because I've been waiting for a bit of a while to answer this one. I have my favorite comic, Rage of the Red Lanterns, and I have this segment. It's not going to be too long. It emphasizes just the rage. So, ba-boom, ba-boom. I hear it. It beats like a war drum. The red ring is born as my anger crystallizes the blood of the inversions. My heart stops, so the ring can take over. The loss I suffered millennia ago left my heart festering with hatred. My heart became useless, so the ring replaces it, and my blood spoils, so the ring expels it. My veins stretch as they're filled with the liquid fire of the red light. My battery takes shape and boils to the surface. The Guardians' sins stretch back eons, yet they have never paid for them. They have never faced the judgment for the massacre of my sector. My kind was annihilated by their android police force. Myself imprisoned on a planet by their great Green Lantern Sinestro. Our rituals of prophecy have persuaded the universe to peel back its continuum and expose its secrets. It said to me, the red light is violent action with no consideration of consequence. It is uncontrollable, so I will unleash it. I am Atrocitus. I am the Red Lantern. And with that, he says the Red Lantern oath. With blood and rage of crimson red, ripped from a corpse so freshly dead, together with our hellish hate, we'll burn you all. That is your fate! And scene.
Crawling in my skin.
That is very edgy.
That's very... Nico has a fucking thingy for the edgy characters.
I
But
mean,
no, it's good. Good pick.
yeah. Also, just I love the fact that because not only is this villain one of my favorites, but also in the animated Green Lantern series, he is actually the first villain, and oh my god, it is so good. The perfect voice actor, and just oozes rage without becoming too cringy. At least in the animated series. So yeah, that's my pick. Atrocitus of the Red Lantern Corps. I love him.
Good pick.
Yeah. Also, this is also through him. I also managed to get Lord of Pink into the Red Lanterns because he loves Atrocitus.
That does not surprise me.
Mm.
Asmo, what about you? What's your pick for your non-Warhammer villain?
Do I only get one?
Just one.
Yeah. Unless your hard drive can take the space for an entire hour-long conversation about villains.
Well, I can answer the question easily if it's from a specific angle. Like, who's my favorite villain from a coolness factor? Who's my favorite villain from a intimidation factor? Who's my favorite villain for...
Oh yeah, it's a very broad question. Like, don't worry, but it's just when you think of your favorite villain, who comes to mind first?
First one that comes to mind for a non-Warhammer villain would probably have to be Heath Ledger's Joker.
Not
only
I'm gonna feel heretical from my pick next.
Not only is he like the ultimate like version of the Joker, but self-contained in terms of not only his performance, but like everything about that character in that particular movie and how he's portrayed. It's just he always feels 2 steps ahead of everyone while not even giving a hint that he is. Like, you know that he is, but he, like, in terms of his like attitude, he seems like he's chaotically in the moment, that he's improvising or coming up with stuff. But then at the same time, everything comes together in such a way that it doesn't feel like an improvised plan. So in terms of villains in the aspect of like actually being intimidating, he is. Despite the fact that physically you look at him and you're like, oh well, he's scary, but I could like kick his ass. But he's like manic and nuts. On top of that, like the coolness factor, like the aesthetic of like the really broken up, like shoddy makeup, the scarred face, the unending glaring look he has, like, and plus that suit, like the costume they did in that movie was great, because it feels like a perfect match between like the comics like over the top elements and also a more realistic approach to the aesthetic of the Joker. So for me, there are other villains I think are better for specific things, but the first one that comes to mind, and for like generally answering the broadness of the question, I'd have to say Heath Ledger's Joker. But my answer changes drastically depending on specifics. Like, from what aspect are they my favorite? So this question is very hard for me.
Yeah, it does mean overall, like above taking into account everything.
And again, like the first one that came to mind was Heath Ledger's Joker, but if I had more time, I might think of another one that might beat him in that regard. That's just not immediately coming to mind.
Yeah.
I can't even say that this is actually the correct answer for me. It's just the one that comes to mind because there's so many villains from so many different mediums. Like, there's books, movies, video games. There's so many things I've consumed over the years that have such memorable antagonists and villains that this question is damn near impossible for me to narrow down definitively. Reflexively, Heath Ledger's Joker, but that's just the first one. There's so many that I'd have to actually go over and be like, okay, is this the one? To be honest, it's kind of an impossible question for me.
Yeah, no, that's understandable. To be
Nate-
fair, fucking Nico hit me out of left field when he actually had an answer like Atrocitus.
Mhm. I mean, the thing is, I thought I saw that question from Karn, and I was just like, oh, I got this. I got this. Nathan, what about you? Do you have a favorite villain that's not from 40K or
So-
Warhammer?
So not from 40k, but only a few people would know this because when I first joined the Discord, I didn't even have like, it wasn't even a red helmet or a blue helmet. It was originally just a picture of, and it's why I say I feel heretical saying this given your two answers. I like Carnage from Marvel
Ooh,
because
nice.
he's simple, but he's fucking terrifying. Like, I love the idea of body horror and the fact that Carnage is obviously fused with Cletus Cassidy, and it's just a red symbiote that can writhe and wriggle and conjure up sharp bladed blood weapons, and he's just insane. Like one of the prime factors of why I like Carnage so much is because at least with some villains, they've got a conscience. Like you've got heroes, you've got villains, you've got anti-heroes, anti-villains. Carnage is just one track mind. If he had a patron god, he would be Khorne in the flesh, because he is just, does it bleed? Yes, it does. I'll fucking kill it because
Yeah.
it's funny.
Yeah,
And
Cletus
that's what makes
Cassidy. Yeah.
Like all that raw biological firepower that he has with the superpower of the symbiote, and just the mind of just kill anything because it suits him. It's scary because it can't be reasoned with, which is what makes Carnage so terrifying. He's powerful and he can't be reasoned with. The only time Carnage can actually be properly reasoned with is that if he really wants to kill something but he can't do it by himself, so he teams up with something temporarily to take the big bad thing down. And after they're done killing the thing, the other person that he just teamed up with is probably walking away. Cletus is still there flaying the fucking thing alive like a Necron flayed one. And then after he's had this fun, after several hours of blood and guts and skin and bone, he's just turned around and he started gunning for his teammate that just helped them.
Actually, funny. So I don't know if you've read the Carnage versus Deadpool comic. It's really good. But do you know just how attached to one another, how perfect of a match they are?
Oh yeah, I know.
Oh yeah. So to explain it anyway, so there was one time when the the symbiote of Carnage, for Cletus Cassidy, they were separated, and the thing is, they had been bonded for so long that Cletus was like on the verge of dying, basically. So the little speck symbiote that was of Carnage, he travels around country trying to find him, and he is just kidnapping like random innocent people, and nothing is stopping it. He wants to get back to his master. It's just terrifying, the thought. It's just, oh master, I'm back. What about all the people that you killed? Oh, who cares? Come here, you.
Yeah, like the symbiotes in general as creatures or beings within Marvel, like absolutely love the symbiote wars or like the symbiote verse, where things like Scream and Havoc and stuff like that.
Mm.
Oh, and then you've just got Carnage. And he's so fucking because in one comic series, I'm pretty sure you've seen, Carnage becomes a god.
Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
That is fucking terrifying of a concept.
Oh,
like, well done. You've just given the bloodthirsty, psychotic alien being that cannot be reasoned with You just give it the powers of a fucking universal almighty being.
It is certainly horrifying, and also just I love the name as well because it is as fitting as the character Carnage.
Yes.
Mwah. Simplicity in all its
Yeah.
nicest form.
No, that's my favorite villain. Beside anything 40k.
Oh, look at him.
Yes.
Yeah. I love that.
Oh, also, this may be a little bit of bias, but the very first boss that scared me as a child. Have you played the Spider-Man PS2 games?
Yep,
Oh,
yep.
No, sorry.
Yep,
No, the
yep.
Spider-Man PS1 game, Enter Electro.
Yeah. I own that game.
No, I have not.
I hated the plane level. I hated it. Like you had to be really fast and move shit around. Anyway, yes, continue.
Did you ever get to the end of that game, Nico?
I did through cheats.
Oh, you cheating bastard! You fucking.
Yeah, I know. But no, I do know that Carnage was in that game.
Yes.
Looking at the old PS1 graphics, it's odd.
Carnage was in that fucking game. Do you want to know what else Carnage does?
Tell me.
Carnage fuses with fucking Dr. Octopus.
Mm-hmm.
And the final level is him chasing you while he is making these Lovecraftian horrible fucking noises, and the camera angle is more awkward than the original Resident Evil as you're swinging through the facility and Pipes trying to get away from this thing. 5-year-old me was terrified. It's Dr. Ock, but pure red, and has snarling, gnashing Lovecraftian teeth and noises. He is scary as shit.
Yep.
So that kind of builds to the whole Carnage being terrifying, because something like that can fucking spawn. Yeah, that. Have you fucking heard the thing, Nico?
I did hear Venom, but no, I did not hear Carnage.
Right. Well. We consider the fucking question is, done. We've said the villain, but I've just linked you the noises of it. It's fucking gives me nightmares. Well, used to.
Oh,
for
God.
the sake of the Voxcast, I guess I'll play it.
This is chasing you.
It's not over yet.
That is no right being in a fucking Spider-Man game.
that would terrify kids for sure.
It would terrify. It fucking did, mate. I'm scarred. It's the fucking die line that die. It's that one that it fucking gets under the skin.
Crawling in my skin.
Skin.
Okay.
Literally.
Yeah.
I guess we'll end the episode there. Assuming we've answered the questions pretty thoroughly. So thanks to everybody who tuned in and watched up to this point. Sorry for probably blowing your eardrums out. I'll try and lower the volume of that in the editing. So yeah, I have been Asmogan.
I've been Nathan X2000.
I've been Nico 40K.
And we'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.